It's nice to see you, everybody, on this Merry Christmas period.
Graves, why is it so cold now? Like last
Boo!
year with Batman Returns, it wasn't this cold. What happened?
Well,
It's like hell
well,
froze over.
Okay, well, first of all, whose fault was it you didn't bring a coat to you?
Graves, I brought something that can warm me better than a coat, but I'll tell you later. But gone.
What? Does it have
But
to do
anyway,
with these killer plants you brought along for the ride?
Sure.
Yeah,
No, not really.
the more I think about it, the more I think that maybe bringing killer plants to an icy place wasn't such a good idea.
What was your first clue?
Oh!
Watching this movie. Welcome to 1997's Batman and Robin. Yes, 1997. It was unlike the previous films in this particular iteration of the Batman franchise, of which this is the last of that particular era. This film only came out 2 years after Batman Forever instead of the usual 3.
Wow, 1997.
In fact, it was so. In fact, this film's production was apparently so rushed, and the scheduling was so erratic that Val Kilmer couldn't come back for this movie.
And instead, they hired George Clooney for the part.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I love George Clooney, but he's horribly miscast as Batman.
Okay. I'll explain more about George Clooney as we get into it. Although here's the interesting thing, in terms of like the billing order, he's actually usurped by the villain again, which is kind of fitting. The first movie had Batman's main actor in the billing usurped by the main villain, and it ends with exactly the same thing, except this time it's Arnold Schwarzenegger proving to the whole world that
puns are not enough sometimes.
That back then he really wasn't that good of an actor.
I mean, okay. I'll say this. Arnold Schwarzenegger is both the best... Okay, he's not the worst thing, that's still Uma Thurman, but... Okay, I can't decide if casting Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Siege was casting genius or casting idiocy, because he does have certain qualities that would apply to him here and there. But that requires going further into the movie.
Terminator?
It's after Terminator.
Way after. But we can just start the movie.
Okay.
I think it's like the old Warner Brothers logo.
The old Warner Brothers logo. I think this is one of the last few films that used this one before they used the one they have to an extent to this day.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, click.
On the record, this thing, among other things like Steel, this is the thing that sunk the superhero movies for a long time, and Batman movies until the mid-2000s, when Christopher Nolan actually pulled them out of the mud. Oh god,
Allow me to also say
well, not so much Christopher Nolan, but yeah, Christopher Nolan was definitely amongst the team of directors who would bring them out of the mud.
Well, I'm talking about Batman.
Batman, okay.
Let's talk about live-action movies specifically.
No, Pedro. Let's talk about Batman. Live-action superhero movies were already being taken out of the mud thanks to Spider-Man.
and X-Men, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were talking about live-action Batman specifically. Live-action Batman specifically.
But go on.
But see, much like I talked about in our Batman Forever commentary, the fact that they took what didn't work, like I've explained why in the previous commentary of Batman Forever, and they completely ramped it up to 11 in this movie. And keep in mind, this was after I read Batman Nightfall. For those who don't know what Nightfall is, it's one of the most memorable storylines.
Oh god, we start immediately with this. I forgot.
Nipples.
Okay.
Nipples and bad ass.
And ass.
Why? Hold on. First line in the movie. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. I forgot about this.
Pay attention. Sure, this is the first line. Pay attention.
Got it set up. So we may or may not be in the same universe as the Superman movies.
Let this line set up the tone for you, Shiro. The entire movie is this, if not even worse.
Yeah. Oh,
get it?
I love the line that Alfred says now. In a moment, where they say, if I remember correctly, it's right here at the beginning.
I thought he basically said, "Try
the drive-through line was for Batman Forever."
No, I'm not talking about that line. It's something that Robin says to Alfred, and Alfred replies with a specific answer that I do remember that at least. Yeah, it's Robin after he takes off in his motorcycle. Yeah.
Again, the other toy. Yeah, see, this is the movie that sells you more the toy merchandising.
Buy our toys.
Yeah, here you go.
Why?
Okay, basically everybody, and don't worry, Debs. I'll cover what your reaction. What I'm about to say. Yes, this movie. Instead of trying to I remind everybody, this is still supposed to be a sequel.
Yeah, as you can see, Jim Gordon's actor is the same.
As is Alfred's.
This is still supposed to be part of the Burton verse. And as you can see, we've literally gone from one extreme of Batman 89 to the other extreme of this movie, basically.
Basically, this movie, like the previous one, this film tries to be more like the 60s Batman show, but unlike the 60s Batman show, it doesn't work.
Not only that,
understand how to do things.
Not only that, but unlike Batman Forever, this one goes way too much in the opposite direction.
This is our villain, Mr. Freeze, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And his tick is that he loves to say ice puns.
Now,
come on, you guys just need
and
to...
so it begins. See, Ribs? Hold on, this one. Oh my god. Yes, alright, Ribs. I mentioned the cold and I mentioned a remedy for it. Alcohol. It's not super heavy stuff, so don't worry. I won't be completely wasted by the end of the movie. But one tip for every ice pan, so why not?
Oh,
look, Tio, you just need to let it go.
This is not
bother you.
I appreciate trying to tie this to Frozen Deji, but it's not working.
So I'm on thin ice, gotcha.
Not everything freezes.
Okay. Let's try to be fair here. They are trying to go for...
Seriously.
Yes, Cowabunga.
What the fuck, Bruce?
Wait, allow me.
Batman. He's the darkest guy in history.
Allow me. Yes. Cowabunga, I am the knight and all that. Anyway...
the Cowabunga line will... VLC is cursed for me.
Watch it, the Cowabunga line will come later.
God.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm just saying it as Batman right now. Okay, so when it comes to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze, I get what they're going for. Someone who can be intimidating, has a huge stature, would look very good in the Freeze costume, and is very well known for his one-liners because, okay, to be fair, when it came to Mr. Freeze, the actual iteration of Mr. Freeze until the animated series made him more serious was that of a pun-slinging Ice Master guy here and there.
That's kind of the problem, though, Joe, that this tries to be much more similar instead to the animated series incarnation, but the Punjo Master attitude of Schwarzenegger's Freeze completely clashes with it.
They're trying to mash the two...
gimmick.
They're trying to mesh the two different characterizations in one, and it doesn't work.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of enjoy them on a guilty pleasure level, but objectively, it just doesn't work.
Oh, definitely. Objectively, this is terrible.
In my opinion, hearing Arnie do ice puns is fun the first few times, but even a quarter of the way through them, it just starts to get boring.
I think,
almost there.
To be fair, he doesn't really spout as many ice puns as people remember. The problem is...
Okay, now, if there is one thing that I can possibly explain about George Clooney's performance in this film, it's like I mentioned before. It's like I mentioned before. Okay, as Bruce Wayne.
Oh no, I'm talking about the cop. I was just like, he's fine.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Nobody fucking dies in this movie, by the way.
Well, one guy dies to you.
I should. All right. At the same time George Clooney was filming this, he was also filming ER. He kept going back and forth between the two, which naturally led to, considering how rigorous a production this film is compared to how rigorous a TV show is. Hang on.
Yay!
Yeah!
Oh man.
So yeah, basically, two rigorous schedules don't work out.
Okay. So, George Clooney, let me put it like this. If it weren't for how terrible this movie were, he'd probably be the most forgettable Batman. But because it's Batman and Robin, he is memorable for just kind of like...
reasons.
Yeah, he really does not seem like he knows what he's doing.
It's not even bad acting or overacting. He's just there.
Like, okay, look, for all the problems Val Kilmer had as in Batman and Batman Forever, at least it felt like he knew what he was trying to go for. A Bruce that was on the road of recovery and did want to legit help Dick so that he didn't end up like him, in a sense. So, it still felt like an actual character I could get behind. Clooney's Batman and Bruce Wayne here, well, his biggest debate, aside from that plot point, which we'll get to later, is more just about, can I truly have a love life? And even that pretty much gets tossed aside.
I'm gonna be real. I don't think Batman Forever is that memorable.
No. It's not really that memorable. What I'm saying is that, Batman Forever, for all its issues, Batman Forever was a crossroads of sorts. If they had done things the right way, it could have been the entry point to, getting the perfect balance for live-action Batman.
Also, yes, by the way, Freeze had a fucking rocket in his tank,
because he knew this would happen.
This is a movie that operates on the fact that Freeze has a lot of technology, but you have no idea where he got it. It's even more backward than the different umbrellas of a penguin of Batman Returns.
Oh, so it's like... sorry, go on.
And allow me to remind everybody that, because I have the 2-disc DVD of Batman 89, so I know this. And allow me to remind everybody that one of the primary goals of this franchise, because remember, this is still technically the Burton franchise, despite clearly not being that, but whatever. One of the original goals behind the creation of this franchise back in the late 80s was to give Batman fans the proper Batman films that they deserved, and one of the things that people were originally fearful when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman, because at the time Michael Keaton was only known for comedies. There were a lot of people were immediately fearful. Oh my God, no, this cannot be another Batman '60s show, because at the time people really wanted Batman to be in a more serious movie, like '89 turned out to be. So to go back to this is a real betrayal of what.
No kidding, he's mad, Bruce.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and also, it's not even like and also, unlike in Batman Forever, where Burton was a producer, Burton has absolutely
that CGI is terrible.
No role in this film whatsoever.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's a problem. This movie, because of what it's doing, it's a complete betrayal to what Tim Burton and the rest of his team were trying to accomplish with it.
Pretty much. Now, in later interviews, kinda give the idea that it was Warner Bros. Who dropped the ball and tried to make this instead basically a commercial for, new toys and merchandising and stuff, and the more silly campy attitude. And Joe Schumacher kinda had his hands tied. And unfortunately, he passed away, so I guess in a way, we might not even know the full true story of the entire project.
Don't get me wrong, everybody. I don't have no problem with a comedic take on Batman, but This is broader to create a new Batman for that purpose. Don't shove a comedic tone into the Burton franchise.
Or if you do want to have comedy, do what the past three films did, and at most have it be mainly dark comedy. Or if you do have to have comedy, do it like Batman Forever did, and at least don't have the comedy interfere with the actual threats here and there.
Don't make it the main focus of the film.
Like, that's the thing.
I understand that, like, a big criticism of the Burton films is that it was a bit too dark for its own good at times, especially with Batman murdering people. But like, people like to lampshade that, even though they're the bad guys, whatever. But so it's like,
okay, now he said it.
There you go. This is not the
again. So go on.
This is not the Teenage Ninja Turtles. You can't just shout "Cowabunga" in a Batman movie.
And again,
unless
this was 1997. That phrase had long gone out of style.
Okay, Shiri. Seizure. Shiri. I'm actually having a genuine question considering the visuals. Can you actually make it out of what's going on?
Not really.
Fantastic.
Well, what do you think of these oh so glorious ice puns from Arnie?
They're I'm giving them the cold shoulder, honestly.
Okay. Better question, Shuri. What do you think of all these amazing effects so far?
I don't know. It's difficult to see them.
The interesting thing is that we recently commented on True Lies, one of Arnie's best films.
And now we're looking at one of his worst.
One of Arnie's worst.
Like, okay.
And by the way, again, it needs to be stressed. This entire thing is just the entire opening sequence, and now it's finally about to end. Like, I get the idea of a strong opening, but this one goes. Oh my god!
Every time, it's like they're stabbing me with a knife every time he says it.
That's the thing.
A cold knife.
Come on, Pedro. These are fun.
You heard about the 1,000-degree knife. Now you will learn a -1,000-degree knife.
Okay.
No, stop. You're
Everything is still cake at the end of the day.
Wait. I'm sorry. Freeze. You said that your emotions make you weak. That's rich coming from you, considering your
kill it now.
Not just that, Jova. What is the context for that line? Like, what reason does he have to even bring that up?
He's a villain.
Okay.
He's supposed to lie.
I get that. Yes, Deji, but usually when a villain says a line like that, he has a reason to. Like when he's.
I get the idea that your emotion make you weak. The fact that he knows that Batman will stay behind to thwart Robin instead of pursuing him.
Again, it's kind of rich knowing what his actual motivation is.
Batman is a laser pointer that he can use to heat up the water and thwart Robin.
Yeah, not necessarily.
It's kind of sad that when the jitterbugs putting a campfire under an ice cube worked better as thwarting someone in Thumbelina.
Oh look, we now cut to
an evil castle
with lightning flashing in the background.
In the middle of the tropical jungle.
Okay, and now we have, in my opinion, the worst part of
this movie. This is pre-Kill Bill Uma Thurman, and it shows.
Yes. And yes, even worse than Arnie's acting and his ice puns.
Again, later movies will showcase that Uma Thurman is also a competitor. I would agree that if the costume was a bit better, but as we'll see later, it kind of is bad.
Don't you mean
in the second act?
Don't you mean costumes?
Okay, the only major thing that changes is the hair dressing and the eyebrows, but the costume normally stays the same. It's just the green jumpsuit.
No. She has multiple costumes in this movie.
Oh, look, Tail, a Gilgamesh wing.
I think it's actually a scientific term, but yeah, this is Dr. Pamela Isley working with Dr. Woodruff, I think it's called.
Okay.
More on him later in relation to what he does in the comic, because now the movie decides to mash up 3 characters from the comics into a cohesive narrative.
Okay.
Pamela Isley, as we all know, would be...
Hold on.
Oh, I mean, Tio. Wait, I just need to say, you're telling me that they pulled a Spider-Man 3 before Spider-Man 3?
I argue it's even worse, because now Dr. Woodruff is creating Bane.
Okay. I have to point this out. Why is it that every time a successful Batman movie franchise really hits its downfall and just outright humiliation, Bane is involved? Like, seriously. First there was this for the Burton-verse, and then there was Bane in Dark Knight Rises for the Nolan-verse.
Well, I will tell the listening difference with that job is that at least the Bane in Dark Knight Rises manages to be so quotable and such a fountain of memes. This Bane is a cartoon. He barely speaks. He just throws a punch here and there, and he's just there to have another extra villain to the mix. You could potentially cut away Bane entirely, and the story would really not change much.
Yeah, basically. But speaking of Bane, this is another problem. Keep in mind, everybody, this was a couple years later after I read what was at the time Nightfall, the famous storyline where Bane breaks Batman's back, one of the most memorable and impactful storylines
the CGI.
So basically, Jova, to follow up on our conversation from the Batman Forever commentary, this is another problem I have with these Schumacher films, like the fact that what I love from the comics was not being represented at all.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be so bad if it was like its own universe, but it isn't.
But
like Deb said, if this was just okay, this is just a different take on Batman, okay, that would be fine. But this is supposed to be a follow-up to the Burton films. Like, hello.
Says a lot when the Joker in the first movie was actually more serious than stuff that happens to the villains in these.
Counter-argue Pedro and Dwebb's statement?
About how specifically?
Even if you ignore if its own thing, the movie itself still isn't really good.
Okay.
Never said it was.
To be fair, they didn't say otherwise, but I think...
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, its own thing, fine, but it's like, no, it's still kind of bad.
No, on its own, it's still terrible.
Okay. I suppose we do have to ask ourselves, though, if we were in, say, a reality where, the more popular take on Batman was the more comedic version, do you think maybe this movie would have been better received? Or would it still be bad, even with the...
No, for a very simple reason, Jova. The comedy is terrible. If the comedy is terrible, then the comedy movie sucks.
And
remind me again who plays Dr. Woodrow. I know it's a famous actor, but the name escapes me.
Isn't he Lex Luthor's dad in Smallville?
Oh my god, I think he is. Which means that he's also the guy who plays
We're about to get one of the best lines in the entire movie.
Yeah, I love this.
John Glover.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, he played Lionel Luthor.
He also plays the Dick Dad in Shazam, too.
And the Dick Dad in Heroes. Skylar's father.
Okay, okay. Is it sad that I think that Glover's acting ability is better than Uma Thurman's in this movie?
Which is sad. Uma Thurman's not that bad an actress normally.
And of course, much in true comic book tradition, just spray someone with a bunch of chemicals and that will give them superpowers.
To be fair, nobody's really acting on the top of their game in this movie. It's abundantly clear that Joel Schumacher told everybody in the cast to just play up and completely go all out and full ham.
I'm sorry.
Actually, Pedro, that is what he did. Well, okay. Apparently, it was more frustration at the whole try and make this. Warner Brothers constantly telling him make this more like a cartoon. So before every take, he outright said, "Remember, we're making
a It's funny because the actual cartoon at the time.
Sorry, go on.
It's funny because the actual cartoon at the time was probably taken more seriously.
And now we're having Mr. Freeze's backstory told to us with just a few clips inserted in a computer screen presentation.
Okay.
You see, guys.
Oh my god, this is Electro's backstory.
Not just that, Deji. Batman v Superman was clearly paying homage to this movie with this backstory reveal.
No, not real. Okay.
I still haven't seen it.
Okay. I will say this, not really, because what they were doing was previewing stuff. This is this movie's actual attempt to show Frieza's backstory here. And I get it, relatively it's simple, but come on. I mean, what? Is the mentality like, oh, we only have time to show the other villains' proper origin and story as opposed to flashback or some expository fashion?
Yeah, one thing that they added for the movie for this take on Mr. Freeze is that the reason he has to steal stuff is that he's a suit of armor that allows him to stay in a cryogenic state is powered up by gemstones. Whatever, however that fucking works.
Yeah, this is and
also another thing.
No.
Bruce and Dick will bicker constantly in this movie.
Okay. This was actually a thing going on in the comics at the time. The problem and difference, of course, is the execution. Don't get me wrong. Batman and Robin, or Nightwing as he currently is, have had plenty, and I do mean plenty of falling outs for many a various reason. And, I understand here and
Bruce's
there.
Ego.
It's either Bruce's ego or Nightwing's ego or Bruce not learning to maybe stop being overprotective or Nightwing thinking that he gets Batman when he doesn't. It goes back and forth here and there a lot. In this movie...
And sorry, go on.
In this movie, it's a bit of the whole Batman is overprotective of his new family or whatnot. But it's also about a Robin wanting more spotlight, shall we say. I mean, okay... I get where he's coming from, but it comes out not that well. Go on, Dio.
As Inkara mentioned in the comic book adaptation review of this, also Diagonal Camera, this is also the movie that attempts, quote-unquote, of concluding the story arc that Bruce Wayne is going for in the 4 movies. Specifically, now he's trying to, overcome his own trauma and, help Dick, being a father figure to him.
Could you imagine it? That question in Batman Begins, why do we fall, Master Bruce? Well, this film answered that question before they even asked it. Basically, the answer is because I was running down the corridor recklessly.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, because I fell over.
Our second, third at this point, major villain of the movie, Poison Ivy.
And now this is where we go into why Uma Thurman really doesn't work in this movie. I guess, I don't know if she's better at it now, but man, back then she could not really pull off sexy. And I don't mean in the sense that she wasn't attractive, no. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, and I'm sure that, she's attractive and fine. But Poison Ivy is supposed to be a seductress. Uma Thurman in this movie could not seduct a housefly even if she doused herself in garbage and manure.
Wow, that is a strong analogy.
Not to mention
your skin with chlorophyll. You're not even. Okay, also, I'm sorry. She said that it replaced her skin with chlorophyll. Problem: you're not green. If you had your skin replaced with chlorophyll, you'd be green.
Yeah. Sorry, Pamela. Somebody once told me that you should be green for this.
I mean, and come on, you're supposed to be a scientist. Shouldn't you know this stuff?
And yeah, apparently her lips secrete poison that she kills with kisses. Because...
That tends to be her power moveset here and there.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I get it that she has developed a bit of more resistance to that. But if I recall correctly, Harley Quinn manages to get through just fine on that point.
Again, it varies on what iteration.
Experiments on her.
Yeah, that too.
That depends on the iteration too.
It's either because of the Joker venom or
is she gonna break into a song?
Yeah, the first time I watched the movie, I actually thought the same thing. Like, oh, is it gonna be like one of those Don Bluth movie, which now she's gonna burst into a
and of course she needs a reason to go after Wayne Enterprises. Also, was Bane just
tags along? Yeah, Bane just obeys her every command now. What?
For some reason.
Okay. See, now this would have made sense if she used one of her secretion toxins to hypnotize
him. Mr. Freeze, brilliant.
Oh, I love this song. Speaking of breaking into song.
with bare sleepers.
Are you supposed to be curing your wife?
There you go. We haven't gotten to that yet.
Sometimes you can relax.
Okay, let me
relax.
Let's get this straight here, right? The evil ice criminal with ice powers and his henchmen are hiding in an ice factory.
Ice cream factory.
And somehow,
oh, hello there.
Nobody can figure out, and somehow nobody has ever figured out that maybe he's in here.
Look, as long as they don't install a heater inside, they'll be fine.
Well, he needed some kind of flame to heat up that cigar. So
hold on, is that the seducing dancing woman from the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Oh my God, it might actually be. So
to be fair, this was done like 20 years after. I doubt she's the same.
So here's my question. Mr. Freeze, you clearly only have eyes for your wife. Why did you hire...
the Gray Fox?
Yeah, why is she here? Like, I mean, unless you actually do get your ice rocks off every now and then. In which case, that's going to be something fun.
Henchman. That's all.
Well, I also say this, a minor thing. I wonder if the makeup for Schwarzenegger, the head, is actually uncomfortable on him, because I get the idea that face paint is not, it's probably not really, good on him.
Also, damn, that lip sync there was terrible.
Yeah, it's dubbed over too.
It must be annoying for an actor to have to deal with face paint all the time.
Yeah.
He was in the every time he had that put on him, he was there for hours.
I will say this though.
It's kind of like the Hobbit feet makeup, but yes.
I will say it does show the measure of an actor and how much they're willing to go with how willing they are to put on a lot of makeup.
You can tell that she's behind a mirror or some sort of glass.
Again, the actual backstory of Mr. Freeze from the animated series is probably one of the best things done to a Batman villain ever. And it's just wasted here because the rest of the characterization.
Oh, boy! Okay,
no.
okay.
Tio, don't worry. We can watch Sub-Zero after this.
Okay. So we've talked about how, they sort of have botched character entries in this movie, but let's see a character.
One.
No. Now it's time to see a character that they completely bastardized for this movie.
Barbara, not Gordon. Yeah, right.
We haven't gotten to her yet.
There we go.
Hey, Alicia Silverstone. Who, from what
what is actually her career?
If I remember correctly, don't they establish her in this movie as Bruce's cousin instead of...
No, she's actually... I think she's like Alfred's nephew. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
Get this.
This is Barbara, This is not Barbara Gordon. She should be.
No, she's Barbara Pennyworth, and she's coming from England. You can tell by her thick English accent.
Okay.
To be fair, I have no problem with them changing who she's related to. That's not really a big issue.
It kind of is because it's part of her character.
Well, okay, yeah, it is true. Barbara Gordon's has to do with looking up to Bruce Wayne and wanting to
seduce him.
Not that.
Well, okay.
We're trying to forget the animated killing joke.
Okay. To be fair, I get what Judge is talking about. You guys may not know this, but originally Batgirl does actually have a crush on Batman in the animated series, and that was part of the reason she got into the gig in the first place. There's literally a scene where she daydreams about trying to make out with Batman, which is thankfully interrupted by Dick Grayson waking her up from that dream. And in Batman Beyond, it's revealed that she and Bruce did at some point have a relationship, but they broke it off. Mainly because the audience knew how...
She was pregnant with Bruce's dad. Bruce's baby.
Why did
Sorry, I was thinking of Sins of the Past for that Spider-Man arc. My bad.
Yeah, that's
okay. There is one thing I want to mention since you guys mentioned Sub-Zero earlier.
Yes.
Go on.
The creators of the animated series made for video animated film called Batman, I think it's Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
That's the whole title.
Yes.
And it was originally supposed to come out alongside this film. But because the reception of this film was so toxic, Warner Brothers pushed it back a year.
Yeah, this film did.
I actually haven't seen it yet, so I'm actually curious to see how it turns out.
Oh, it's a very good movie. Okay, this
It actually came with. It's actually part of my Blu-ray of the animated series.
This film did a lot of damage to a lot of things. It did damage to the superhero live-action movie genre. It did damage to the superhero genre in general. And it did damage to a lot of other products here and there. And it also did damage to Joel Schumacher's honest attempt to try and save stuff with Batman Triumphant. Batman Triumphant was going to be a movie that would, get the series back on track more to its roots, to the point where they're even going to bring back Jack Nicholson as the Joker, albeit as a hallucination.
Wasn't it supposed to be kind of like a conclusion of the whole thing, and hence why Jack Nicholson coming back for hallucination in a sense of celebration of the entire franchise at that point?
Sort of, yeah. They're even going to have Nicolas Cage as the Scarecrow, which is phenomenal casting, let's be honest.
Wasn't there also a project...
to see that.
Wasn't there also one draft...
They can do it. Hold on, Tia. They can do it, and for the Flash movie with the multiverse, they can get him back.
It is possible.
Not just that. With Crisis on Infinite Earth, Warner Bros. Did mention essentially that they cannibalized every single piece of live action and said that yes, it is canon for the now DC multiverse. Live action multiverse. So it's still technically possible. And if I recall correctly, they did mention that this particular continuity is Batman eventually rekindled with Selina Kyle. So there's that.
No, think about it, Tio. That means he also had plastic surgery and made himself look like Michael Keaton again, too, going off of that newspaper clip.
But wasn't there also a draft of potential Batman Triumphant where Nicolas Cage instead was supposed to be Superman?
Possibly.
Something else.
Superman was supposed to be played by Nicolas Cage, and Michael Keaton's Batman was meant to have a cameo in it.
Yes. Okay, but yeah.
Also, by the way, this is the movie where we see kind of the least of Gotham. Most of the action is concentrated in a couple of buildings and Wayne Mansion, much less than the previous movies. Also, my God.
So Bane is Poison Ivy's chauffeur. Yeah,
because of course, a convicted criminal.
That is an interestingly sculpted building.
And you know how Bane in recent issues, and I believe around this time as well, is characterized as a smart brute?
Yes.
Here they took the smart bit away.
Basically,
just 3 years before this movie came out, we had that iconic storyline, Nightfall, where he breaks Batman's back.
Yeah.
By exhausting Batman for several nights.
He smartly deduces the location of a Batcave, tires Batman out, then ambushes him, and then there's the iconic panel where he breaks him on his knee.
Okay, guys, pay attention. These plot points are important.
Yep. Ooh, satellite technology. What is this thing you're talking about?
It's sad that this is the best CGI in the entire movie.
It's funny because George Clooney will actually use the satellite technology to spy on people.
In what movie?
Real life. Remember, at some point in 2012, they tried to contact him for spying on Joseph Kony. No kidding.
What?
Huh.
I'll give you a link later on in regards done by Internet Historian on the matter. Good stuff.
So now Bruce Wayne's girlfriend is Elle McPherson.
Yeah, that's what everything. Like I mentioned in the previous movie, this is also the movie that kind of drops a bit to the idea of Bruce Wayne needs to find a new girlfriend for each movie, and it's just a matter of a background here.
Poor Nicole Kidman.
To be fair, her character was literally insane that I wouldn't be surprised that Bruce maybe dumped her. Honestly, like I said...
Why does he need a girlfriend?
Yeah, that's also the question that I raised. But honestly,
so
to take to take anything from this particular set of movies, I think that the attempt with Selina Kyle was the best one of a bunch.
It's one of those things where, okay, it's not necessarily a problem.
Oh my god. Our mother, our womb.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's stupid.
Okay. Uma Thurman definitely gets down the crazy part of Poison Ivy fine. It's just, I don't know. It feels, well, okay.
Again, it says a lot when the Joker in the first movie looked more serious than these people.
Are you serious?
Well, Taylor, the Joker's supposed to be jokey anyway.
Oh.
No, that's what I mean, Pedro. It says a lot when the Joker, the person that should have been more funny and wacky, is not as much as these people,
Okay, question. Why is nobody maybe thinking to lock her up right there and then? Maybe...
Yeah, you do know you have Arkham Asylum, you know that.
They think she's just being a quickie lady. It's fine.
To be fair, this was the 90s, so yeah, they probably still thought about that.
True, but in a world where the Joker, the Penguin, and whoever came to be, you'd think people would be a lot more cautious.
Yeah, especially after Riddler and Two-Face.
Oh, God.
Roll credits.
Sort of.
Okay, allow me. Okay, there's nothing inherently wrong with Bruce having not necessarily a wife, but more like a love interest type character. As long
Who are
as
you talking to?
She's talking to us.
She loves hearing herself talk to us.
I'm sure we can.
As long
to some degree.
Why does every villain eventually want Gotham to be theirs?
Hold on, go on, Pedro.
Well, Jova. What's the fun in being an evil, power-hungry villain if you don't take over the goddamn city?
Yeah,
well, here's an idea.
There are prettier places to take over. Jesus.
Granted, Metropolis has Superman, so I think that he'll beat you in an instant. Gotham is filled with rich people, so you can take advantage of them.
Why?
The city has the speedster.
Yeah, that way he'll explain.
Hey, what you were trying to say, Pedro?
No, okay. As long as the character doesn't take over the goddamn movie and just becomes a complete nuisance like she did in Batman freaking Forever, because let's face it, the woman in I don't know if it was
Nicole Kidman.
Fucking stalker.
Oh God, yeah.
Was just that was such a complete distracting thing. Whereas if it's something like in Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, where she actually has a genuine role in the story, or it can even be just a supporting character for helping out with certain functions that Bruce himself cannot do, like in the case of Rachel in Batman Begins, where she's the district attorney that is willing to go through with the charges to put away the criminals that Batman is trying to put behind bars. So you can have a love interest character. Just keep her exactly as that, a supporting character. Don't have that character take over the whole fucking movie.
It's like I said with Nicole.
No, go ahead.
It's like I said with Nicole Kidman. I wouldn't have been surprised if they were trying to build her up to be Harley Quinn with how insane she was. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason that she's not hooked up with Bruce right now is because Bruce finally realized how insane she was, and she's now locked up in Arkham Asylum alongside the crazies.
Okay.
And, so remember how in the earlier movies where Batman would keep to the shadows?
He literally stole pictures of himself.
Look at Jim Gordon's expression. The guy just doesn't want to be there.
Pat Hingle looks like he'd rather be anywhere else.
Oh my God, it is choreography.
Because, since we're talking about the topic of a love interest, can we point out how in the Lego Batman... How in the Lego Batman movie, his entire motive was basically get with Jim Gordon's daughter.
Yeah, that was
also again, Joe. I think I didn't mention this in the Wiz movie commentary, Joe. But yeah, the choreography of this particular dance is probably just as out of place and potentially cringy as that one. And now people are bidding over property of women.
No. It's the flowers they're bidding on.
Oh, sure.
Did we just enter into a lost movie from the 1980s or something? What is up with this custom designs?
I should point out that, like I mentioned earlier, we've been having quite the year with Joel Schumacher. First, we did for Halloween, Batman Forever. Then for my birthday, we looked at The Wiz, the movie, to be specific, not the actual live show, which is good. And now this.
Oh my god, the Poison Ivy was Gorilla Grodd the entire time!
I knew it!
What a twist.
Okay, and like I said, here is the problem.
It's Harambe! We found him, guys!
Wait. You mean, so what? Harambe was Poison Ivy trying to brainwash people to do stupid stuff?
Yeah. I mean,
memes are stupid. So.
And yes, Poison Ivy has these pheromones that she can use to entice people. Okay, I get it, but some species of Rafflesia do have this kind of property, but not like this is just.
This is okay.
Okay, here we go. This costume fucking sucks. We're trying to having Poison Ivy pass out as fucking Tinkerbell.
Okay. I think
cosplayers with better outfits than this.
Like I said, Uma, I love you and all, but in this movie, I don't know what was the problem, and can you imagine that they let her hit the floor? But okay, Uma just, in some outfits she does sexy better. Not so much in this one. She comes off as like she's trying too hard. Like
it's she's in a costume party.
It says a lot that I think she's much sexier in the yellow jumpsuit in Kill Bill.
Well, yeah. To be fair, no one is acting or whatever they're trying to do works in this movie. So it's not. So Uma's just one more.
I'd say Arnold's occasionally works. When they can decide on what to do with him. Okay, I will say this though.
All right. Is it now that they're going to bring?
It's about to. Yes.
Oh, it's coming.
You're about to see what is quite possibly the stupidest idea that this movie concocted.
And that's saying something. There's a lot of stupid
Batman
things.
Is a simp.
What?
You've got old McPherson.
Wait, that is a terrible line.
Okay. Honest question: does anyone actually get turned on by that? Like, look. I've seen people get turned on by some weird stuff, but the line she's using, that would have to be some very specific people.
Wait,
you're supposed to be the innocent one, Jova.
Jova, you have to be more specific.
Okay, that line was just kind of interesting.
Okay.
Garden needs tending.
Honest question: would you get turned on by the "I have some wild oats to sow" line in any?
And then now literally everyone starts bidding on her in a second. Even Batman and Robin. Yes, really. Sorry, go on.
You've met Terrence, right?
Oh, come on! Not even Terrence. Would he?
Jova.
All right.
Oh. No.
Oh.
You're supposed to be our heroes.
Hold on,
Oh! And look at that! And look at that, by the way.
Product placement.
Also, Sherry, did you notice that the Bat credit card said forever for the expiration date?
Is this supposed to be a parody movie?
No,
you would think. You would think this is supposed to be a parody movie.
I will give the benefit of the doubt. The concept in itself, as Linkara basically deconstructed it entirely, can work. The idea of having Batman a personalized credit card for his operation. The problem is that for the movie, it just comes out of nowhere and piles up the amount of silliness that just doesn't work.
Not just that, too.
My issue is the rest of it.
Oh?
Not just... What is it, Shiro? Go ahead. What is the rest of it?
No, it was the rest of it. Everything we've just seen within the last 5 minutes.
Oh, well, that's the thing. That's the thing, too. No, if you noticed, it said there golf card. It was a brand, golf card, as in it's a play on the MasterCard brand. Okay.
Yeah. But even in the slogan, no, never leave the cave without it.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Okay, you mentioned Spider-Man 3 earlier. Well, actually, it's interesting you say that because that joke is the same kind of problem I have with the Batman credit card that I have with emo Peter from Spider-Man 3.
Cry?
In the sense
I don't remember me mentioning Spider-Man 3, but go on.
Well, you said earlier, I can show you the value later.
No. I think it was Joe who posted the link before we started the movie, but go on.
The point is, okay, even as a comedy, that bad credit card joke, that's the wrong kind of comedy. Like Shiroi said. Shirai's question if this is a parody movie perfectly proves my point. That's the kind of joke that belongs in a parody movie. It does not belong in a movie like this. It's for the same reason that I don't like the whole the symbiont turns Peter into a complete emo jackass that just dances around in the middle of the streets.
Oh boy, I think we're about to get one of the worst puns of a movie.
Can I defend Peter acting like a complete dork?
Yeah.
In that scene, real quick. The whole point is Peter is meant to be a dork. It's supposed to represent what he thinks is cool. So it's like, of course he's stupid.
But that's not what the symbiote is supposed to do, though.
Well, okay. To be fair, that might have been due to influence from Spider-Man, the animated series, which actually did sort of add in the thing about making the host a lot more aggressive here and there. So,
not just that, there's ideally, hypothetically, there's the fact that the symbiote, doesn't know anything about Earth and acts on an instinctual level, emphasizing what Peter thinks. But I think we can actually save that for the actual movie of Spider-Man 3.
And get this, Poison Ivy thinks that Mr. Freeze is a godlike figure, and something about him turns her on.
It doesn't help that her pheromones actually don't work on him. Bane, you were completely pointless in this sequence. You know that?
So
get in the corner and think about what you've done.
So basically,
I repeat things.
So basically, Poison Ivy really likes what she can't get, which is admittedly sort of a thing like in the comics, where she constantly obsesses over Batman because he's one of the few people to be able to resist her.
Also, to answer Deji's question. The statues are essentially the last remaining remnant of Tim Burton's design of the architecture of Gotham.
What is this, Mario Kart?
Yes, this is not a Batman kart.
No, this is Gotham.
Okay. Yes. Not gonna lie, I would love a Batman racer game.
Why? You're thinking too local, Jova. Extend it to the DC universe. Come on.
Jova. I don't know if you've played it, but the Batman Sega I think it's Batman Forever. Yeah, the Batman Forever Sega CD. Well, it's Batman Return. Sorry, the Batman Return Sega CD game has basically the closest we've ever had.
I've seen that game. That game looks awesome.
There's Batmobile sections that kind of can work like a racing game.
What about the Batmobile in Arkham Knight?
Well, that's not really so much like a racing game.
If anything, it works again more like a tank, but it's also on a completely different scale. That's considering it's not used exclusively for racing. Sometimes it is, but mostly again like a tank.
But the game wants you to play it.
Back to this movie though. Yeah, we just got another bit of Robin being a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, this is your producer speaking. We seem to have lost all sense of physics and gravity.
Wait, and we cut immediately to Batman having taken down Freeze. Again, that transition was weird as fuck.
Also, why were Freeze's... Also, Judge brought up a good point. Why were Freeze's eyes open like that? It looks like he's dead.
Well, and that's the end of the movie, so can we go home now? Final thoughts?
Sorry,
no, hold on, we got conflict.
Because Broly wanted a piece of reaction.
Oh, like you're one to talk, Bruce.
Oh, shut up.
Okay, look, okay.
Hold on,
Okay. Look, don't get me wrong. Robin's being whiny, but Batman's kind of being an asshole. Which, yeah, I get it, Batman and all, but there's a right and wrong way to go about doing it. See, here's the thing. One thing Infinite Crisis did was actually touch base on how Batman was being too much of an asshole. You know, it kind of got to the point with the whole brother eye thing not going so well and all that because...
And the entire event ended with Bruce deciding to take a Sabbath year with Dick and
Tim
and Tim on a cruise all over the world, essentially.
You know, so he could...
then I will still argue... Go ahead.
You know, so he could learn to stop being something of a bat dick here and there.
Yeah.
This feels like it's taking the worst aspects of that. Like, I get where he's coming from, but he talks down way too much to Dick, not realizing that, hey, just talking down to your ward is probably just gonna spurn him on more here and there, and he acts like a hypocrite. Like, he says, oh, your mind was on poison ivy. Yours was too, dickweed.
So what you're saying is Batman was being a dick to Dick.
Not to mention, not. Although to be fair, I will argue even that it's still better than Bruce forcing Dick to eat cave rats.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
To be fair, this Dick Grayson is not age 12, so.
Wait, what are you talking about?
All-Star Batman and Robin.
So, in case you guys are wondering what competition this film had at the box office,
go on.
It came out on June 20th, 1997 in the States.
Mm-hmm.
It released on the same weekend as films such as My Best Friend's Wedding, The Last Time I Committed Suicide, and Dream of the Fishes.
Oh, guys, did you remember the Waynes are dead, by the way?
To be fair, we didn't have the sequence where they died replayed again, so at least there's that.
It's symbolic.
Yeah, it's symbolic. But
okay. To be fair, I do think George Clooney makes a decent Bruce Wayne. He just sucks as Batman.
Also, we didn't mention this in the Steel commentary, Dweebs, but can you remind me again when instead Steel was released? I don't think it was.
You guys did Steel?
No. Yes, I don't think it was too distant from the original Beast movie.
Yeah, this Batman Robin came out June 20th. Steel came out August 15th. So barely, not even 2 months later.
No wonder 1987 was the year when comic book movies died.
Yeah.
So,
is this true, Dwebs? Is London kind of rough?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Yeah, I guess.
According to Dwebs, London is basically a shithole where nobody should ever want to live in.
And that's what Gotham by Gaslight is for. Basically,
isn't there like a current TV series called Gangs of London?
Whoa, Teal, I don't know if it's just me, but Arkham Asylum looks more like the Castle of Mordor from Lord of the Rings all of a sudden.
Also, hey guys, do you want to know about the triple whammy?
What?
Spawn came out 2 weeks before Steel.
I know, right? There was Steel. There was.
It really was a slaughter.
Yeah,
and it didn't help. And it didn't help.
Correctly,
it did not help that 2 of those movies were supposed to be the debut of African American superheroes, which just pushed us back even more.
We got Black Panther. It's okay.
Well,
we got Bane first. It's okay.
Well, Blade came out the following year.
Thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I made up for it. It's okay.
It's like Doug Walker said at the end of his point of view. Don't worry, kids. Blade will be out soon.
Yet even Blade eventually got ruined.
Yeah, by the third movie, but again, superhero films, third movies always kind of.
Yeah. Right.
Oh no!
Yeah, you cannot stay out of the chilling zone. The cold zone.
Look, I get that it's definitely there to keep him in there, but maybe the guards could be less dicks to, asylum inmates. Maybe that would help the healing process.
Does this count as torture?
Maybe. Normally I would say this is commentary on police brutality, but this movie is not even trying to do anything.
Like, how many years before the reveal of the Guantanamo Bay torture was this?
Not only that, but I mean they're not.
It was always a thing. The media always just heavily lampshaded.
Okay.
Not only that, but those aren't even really police cops. They're Arkham Asylum guards.
All right.
Little Green Riding. Also, Bane in a trench coat, as a musical as it is, it just doesn't work.
If you want to give
This is
Poison
the first
Ivy,
TMNT movie.
if you want to give Poison Ivy a pointless henchman, okay, fine, but don't make him a natural, well-known villain.
Actually, that's a good segue. You know Dr. Woodruff, the guy that Poison Ivy killed, he supposedly turns out later in the comics to be a villain on his own. The Floronic Man, a complete jackass, by the way.
And one of the new Guardians.
Yeah, one of the people charged with the quest of having sex.
Guardians, like Guardians of the Galaxy?
If only, Dej. Essentially, after the event of a specific event in the DC universe, essentially, if I recall correctly, the Guardians of the Universe tasked a bunch of people from Earth with the best genes to spread, to essentially find the way to have sex, so they can spread their more potent genes and, enrich the gene pool.
And in case you're wondering, Des, let me put it like this. They were chosen by the Guardians of Oa. You know, the assholes in charge of the Green Lantern Corps, so that explains a lot. But
also, to be fair, that's the comic book line that gave us one of the best villains in comic book history.
Snowflame, yeah. Basically,
the guy who gets powered up by snorting cocaine.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's actually a DC villain who was powered by crack cocaine.
You'd have to have that kind of name.
I'll admit, Snowflame is actually an amazing comic. Go on.
Yes, Pedro?
To answer your question from before, Deji, in All-Star Batman and Robin, which was a retelling of how Batman and Robin first met, written by Frank, I'm a horrible asshole writer, Frank Miller, where Bruce not only kidnaps Robin and stuffs him in the Batcave and forces him to eat cave rats because apparently that builds character.
Yeah. Frank Miller.
Deji. Don't.
Okay. Now, from what
Frank Miller is the worst comic book writer of all time, and that's all you need to know.
Okay, I'm gonna have to disagree. God. I'm going to have to disagree with that. There are definitely worse people than him, and that thought frightens me. But yeah, okay, let me put it like this: Frank Miller was a once brilliant comic book artist mine who went downhill. That said, from what I have heard, he's gotten better. He's even officially apologized for Holy Terror, the terrible comic book that was.
To be fair, that Jova, it's still sketchy in some ways, and despite that, he still didn't apologize for other stuff.
Well, okay, Holy Terror was okay. From what I can recall, Holy Terror is like his only comic that he definitely needed to apologize. Yeah, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. He has made bad comics, but Holy Terror is the one that is definitely the most offensive in that regard. I am waiting to see what he does next and if he can... Oh, wait, hold on, I shouldn't talk over this scene because this is the one time they're talking about Bruce Wayne potentially having a relationship in this movie. Don't blink or you'll miss it. I don't even remember this love interest's name.
Well, I know her actress's name, Elle Macpherson. So it's interesting. Nicole Kidman in the previous movie, she's Australian, so is Elle Macpherson. So this film series traded in one Australian, albeit one putting on an American accent, for another.
And if I recall correctly, we don't really see her after this scene.
I think there's maybe one other scene, but yeah, again,
Again, it really shows how the fact that they basically dropped the idea of Bruce Wayne having a subplot at this point. Of this caliber.
Well, not so much him having a subplot, but him having a romance. Well, except for Ivy. Hey, guys, stop me if you heard this before. Bruce Wayne...
didn't.
Guys, stop me if you heard this before. Bruce Wayne may have the hots for a female supervillain.
Well, let's see, Harley Quinn.
I mean, no wonder No wonder that Selina Kyle in the meantime retired to another city and gave her contact to the medium, but later on will contact patient Phillips.
He made out with Cheetah.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Also, Jova, you say that you only had to apologize for Holy Terror, but what about all the incredible misogynistic treatment of most of his female characters?
I didn't.
That's what again. It's like I said, but.
I didn't say that he only had to apologize for Holy Terror. What I'm saying is, like, Holy Terror was definitely his biggest offense, and him apologize.
Well, you see, Pedro.
Okay, hold on. We're actually about to get.
Wait, Pedro, it's justified because it's a product of its time.
Oh, so God, no.
Hold on.
Anyway, guys, we should get back to the...
Yeah, we're about to actually get one of the weirdest cameos ever, by the way. So, get ready for it. Coolio!
By the way.
Yes, this is Coolio. What is he doing here?
What are you doing here?
He's living a gangster's paradise.
Of course.
I get that.
I think his cameo in Gravity Falls made more sense.
Wait, he was in Gravity Falls?
He was one of the mannequins wax mannequins in one of the early episodes.
Well, Deji, Gravity Falls managed to get Neil deGrasse Tyson. If they can,
as a pig.
Yeah, so it's not like there's no one they can't get apparently.
Oh yeah. I was just like, huh. That's how random the cameo is, because it's like, oh look, it's Coolio. Focus on it.
Like, was Coolio still popular around this time?
If I recall correctly, yes.
Wait, what year did this movie come out?
1997.
Also, get it.
Kenan and Kel was still a thing.
Okay. Also, get it. Dick Grayson has a red helmet, kind of like Jason Todd.
I was under the impression that I was watching a Batman movie. When did this poor
Where's my
Schumacher?
Batman?
When did this poor Schumacher Clockwork Orange meets Mad Max
with Coolio?
Like, what the hell?
Oh wow!
That's what wait, Pedro, don't you see? This is what inspired the Suicide Squad movie and upcoming game.
What, having all these different genres of movies slapdash together into one abomination?
No, the looking like it's ripped out of Hot Topic.
But answer me this.
I still hate Joker's design.
But
Siri, do you know what the British equivalent of Hot Topic would be?
Well, Des.
Wait, what was that, Dwips?
Do you know what the British equivalent? Do you know what the British equivalent of Hot Topic would be?
Maybe Blue Banana, I guess.
I
don't even know if you.
I have no idea what either of those things are, and I frankly don't want to know.
What is even the logic behind that choice of words? Blue Banana?
Get off my blue banana!
Shaggy? Was that a Shaggy graffiti?
Yes, that was. Remember, we're owned by Warner Brothers, so we can have that here.
Again, Shaggy
or
just
maybe Topshop, potentially. I don't know.
Shaggy just left a print of his immense power there, just to let people know.
I've heard of blue balls, but not blue banana.
I'm pretty sure that's slang for something.
Hey, he said it.
Is that your mom on the blue banana?
I'm not even gonna say anything.
I have no problem in admitting that I was the one who said that shit.
Let me see. Blue banana. Oh, there's actually...
Also, yeah, to demonstrate, aside from the Coolio cameo, to demonstrate this motorcycle chase sequence is so pointless. I get it, you need to showcase Barbara's character and, expand a bit more Dick, but really, this goes on for way too long, it's way too articulated, it has no place here, could have been replaced with so much better types of scene, there could have the other characters, and my God, I think even me just complaining about this is just wasting time.
Okay. I think I know the problem here. It's like, well, when you get down to it, this movie pretty much repeats beats from Batman Forever, but does them worse. We have, this is basically, Barbara's equivalent to Dick's scene where he steals the Batmobile in Batman Forever, seeing what he's like on his own, where eventually then he gets confronted by Batman. In this case, Dick is just taking, the role
Why did you take off your helmet?
Also, this blue screen.
See, that pod was so bad, even Alicia Silverstone.
Also,
not just that.
How did they get out of that?
Not just that, Edge. There's also the fact that Barbara dropped her helmet when she was falling down. Considering how high we were, by the time the helmet reached the ground, it was kind of like of a meteorite. It probably injured someone if it hit them.
Also,
that'll be fine.
Also, guys, regarding to Blue Banana, I found out two very interesting things. First off, there is actually such a thing as bananas that are blue.
Yeah, they're the bananas that Lanky Kong collects.
No. I mean, no.
More probably genetically modified ones, I guess.
If I could address something that was just, mentioned in the movie.
Yeah, go on, Weebs.
Basically, her motivation for doing those bike races was to get money so that she could take Alfred away from, as she quotes, this pitiful life of servitude. But as Dick's pointing out, Alfred's perfectly content being here.
Exactly.
But he's hiding the pain.
Well, here's the thing, Barbara. Last I checked...
Oh, but it turns out he's not sick, he's dying. Keep up, Pedro, the movie's getting ahead of you.
Oh, that is sick, Jova.
Well,
so...
Well, Sheree, according to the movie, being sick and dying are two different things.
Yes, Pedro?
Well, even so... Barbara, Alfred is perfectly, well, at least as far as I can tell, he's still capable of making his own rational decision. And if he wants to stay a butler, he should be allowed to. I don't see why you have to decide whether or not what his job should be.
Hey, this is still a better Alfred than how he was portrayed in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, I hated that.
He likes Brancamenta. It's fine for me.
Oh, Dad, don't worry, me too. And Dwibs really tore into Alfred during that scene.
Okay, this is an actual reference, almost shot for shot, kind of like of one of the final scenes of the introductory episode of Mr. Freeze in the animated series. So again, it does showcase that Schumacher knows the stuff that he's referencing to, but someone, either the executive or someone else in the team, decided no, things need to be serious, because when the more serious stuff happens, even for Schwarzenegger, you can see the glimpse of potential
that
he's
being
at.
Has
also,
an eye patch.
The guard has an eye patch. Who are you, Deathstroke?
So
okay,
and now Poison Ivy looks like a Power Rangers villain. This costume is even worse than the previous one. Still no playable Rita Repulsa, 0 out of 10.
Dang, that was...
Arkham Asylum, the best, safest place in the fucking world.
So, from my understanding with Joe Schumacher, he didn't intend to make these movies bad. He generally did want to make good movies. It's just executive meddling and circumstances beyond his control. Like, you heard, like, Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey don't like each other.
Oh, yeah, we went into that as well.
Oh, by the way, there go Riddler suit cameo.
Not only that, Penguin's hat and Catwoman's whip as well.
See, guys, this is definitely the same continuity.
Also, hey, Bane is doing something. And it's gone.
Also, too, there you go. We have 3 people dead in this movie so far.
There.
Still not as much as the people who died in Cars 2.
So, yeah, despite the fact that these two guys' goals are completely incompatible with each other, they're going to team up.
Okay, to be fair, the movie does...
The enemy of my enemy.
To be fair...
It's also pretty clear that either of them is planning on backstabbing the other as soon as possible. So...
True. Well, it's not so much Poison Ivy is planning to backstab him. No. She legit does want to mate with him, but let me put it like this. The movie does try to explain how their plans actually can work together. We'll get to that later, but you'll see.
Oh.
Okay, I legit found that line funny.
What, laundry service?
A laundry service that delivers! Wow! I mean, it's like he's basically showing off a case of, yeah, I've seen better. That's what she said. Okay, that is literally what she said.
Grab rocks. You get it?
Anyway, so regarding to Blue Banana, yeah, there's literally a discontinuous corridor of urbanization that is in the shape of a blue banana in Western and Central Europe. So that's a thing, but the most interesting one I found out was actually the term for the blue banana disease.
What the hell is that?
It's a disease in which your penis instantly swells and turns into a dark blue color, and if not treated in time, it will eventually drop off due to an erection.
Okay, moving on.
You asked to know.
The more you know, and knowing is out the battle. But
No, nobody asked Jova.
Sure. You literally did ask what it was.
What the hell is that?
No.
But I don't think
Okay, you know what? I did, but you know what? Take it as sarcasm and shut up.
Whee!
Look at us jump into the terrible green screen.
This is worse than the Mario movie where they fall into that sand pit.
And this came out 4 years after that movie.
How much do you want to bet this was because this subplot came in because the actor wanted to out of these movies by this point, and this was an way
kind of like Mystique's actress when it came to Dark Phoenix.
I do well.
Or
Jennifer
Lawrence actress in the 2020 film.
Wasn't she pretty much done with the whole X-Men stuff?
Look,
running on fumes.
Dad, she was so much on fumes that they apparently made it so that Mystique suddenly had less of those face marking things.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she can shapeshift, so she got...
I know, but, it's okay, I guess to be fair, one would wonder why they even include those markings on Mystique in the first place, because, she doesn't have the actual markings in the comics.
That's the sad thing about Jova is that, remember, Apocalypse did end it on that note, so we kind of had to follow on that. Unless we wanted to just drop her off screen. But anyway, back on the movie. Hey, Jim Gordon is doing something and it fully is terrible.
Well, at least Poison Ivy was actually wearing a mask.
It says a lot that I follow rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! And the costume and makeup for the one whose shape was naturally is actually better than the trench coat that Bane is using in his movie.
So, there you go, guys. Surprise, Poison Ivy's a bad guy, and now Batman and Robin have to put up with the fact that the woman they were in love with is a bad guy.
Also, can we please, why do I have to look at Batman's nipples? I just...
I know, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to look at anything else on the screen, but my attention gets diverted on them.
Okay.
Look at it. We all want you to look at it.
Okay.
I guess it's better than in Dumbo where they show Danny DeVito's nipples for reasons that
that's so
understand.
sexy.
Okay.
It's because of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he was naked.
Yeah.
I don't have any interest in that. But
okay.
Whatever.
It's a very good show, but
But a weird thing to reference.
Also, guys, check this out. Mr. Freeze found a cure to the first stage of Nora Freeze's disease.
Yeah, the McGregor's disease.
That's going to come in handy later. I'm not going to tell you why, because it's incredibly plot convenient, but you'll know it when it comes.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
Yes,
oh,
a woman played by Uma Thurman will totally be able to take on two muscle-bound superheroes.
Yeah, because if there's one thing I needed more of in this movie.
Also, remind me, at this point in this continuity, what rank is Gordon in right now? Is he commissioner?
Commissioner.
Is he should still be commissioner?
Then shouldn't he have a different outfit than the one he has here? I mean, he looks like a regular... regular cop.
To be fair,
the place that does Freeze's Witch, someone can just pull off.
Okay, to be fair, Pedro, if you'll notice, his outfit actually has more stars on the side, which show his rings here and there. To be fair, he is actually dressed like an actual police commissioner should be dressed as in some regards here and there.
I guess. I'm just so used to looking at him with his iconic trench coat and all that stuff, so...
Admittedly, that aspect... I mean, sure,
Oh, hey, Bane!
Oh. Not Beauty, just the Beast.
Robin.
The one-liners in this movie are so horrible.
No!
He's fine.
Somehow.
Look out, Batman! He'll break your back and force you to be replaced by Jean Raphael.
No, Jova, sorry. In order to have that, Bane and Batman should have actual chemistry.
Dear Lord.
Also, I love how Poison Ivy's costume literally has a sunflower on her crotch.
Because subtle be damned.
Dear Lord, the fight scenes.
Yeah, what?
The choreography fight scene, yes, Pedro?
Dear Lord, the fight scenes in this movie are more cartoonish than TMNT 2. Like, that begs the question. That begs the question, though. Which? You still there, Deji?
Yeah.
So which movie has more cartoonish scenes?
Okay.
This one or TMNT 3?
Okay, I have to get back to on that because I only saw like the ending of TMNT 3.
Well, don't worry, you're better off. So,
okay. I will say this. I did also like that line. Why are all the gorgeous ones homicidal maniacs? Is it just me? Like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Catwoman was also homicidal.
Get it? Yeah. Okay, the movie's even pointing out that, this movie basically just exists to sell toys.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, okay, yes, it's one of those things, okay, TMNT 2 was far more comedic than the first movie, but
because parents were complaining about them, you saying that.
Yeah. True, but damn, it still didn't go this far to this extreme that this movie has gone at this point. Like, seriously, like this.
Yeah, the most cartoony thing that you can say about TMNT was babies. They're babies. I still enjoy Secret of the Ooze, even though it's a step down.
I love Secret of the Ooze. Like, seriously, Vanilla Ice suddenly coming up with that ninja rap on the fly. That's just something that, like, you don't see it anymore in movies, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
How many times does she have to use her pheromones?
I guess
you think one would be enough.
I suppose it's to show that, they've garnered something of a resistance, so she has to use it more. Whereas Batman pretty much outright yeeted it away. Robin is still somewhat vulnerable.
He's also young, and
yeah. For the record, again, there's also the fact that Chris O'Donnell, which is clearly not on the age. It still should be like a teenager.
Also, this is the lamest Poison Ivy ever. All she does is seduce other people and kill them.
Wait, hold on. Robin, are you seriously finding the idea of a poison kiss to be out when you are dealing with a guy who was literally frozen to be a solid ice behemoth? And a woman who's literally using pheromones on you.
Jova, a guy that becomes an evil clown after being dropped in chemicals. No, that's just fine. Now, a kiss of death, now that's just unrealistic. I mean, come on.
Okay, anyone who lives in Gotham...
Joke about that, but that's the problem I hate with these kinds of stories. Is like, you've seen a whole bunch of stuff, and you think this is ridiculous.
The TV trope for that, Dej, is... I forgot. Oh yeah, hypocritical skepticism.
Also,
what's wrong, babes?
Yeah, it's the bloody Batman and Robin on
whining, and for no reason, Ivy decides to detach the life support on Nora.
Because
so she can blame Batman and Robin for doing that, even though she didn't really need to. She's already targeting them.
She wanted to freeze for herself.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so wait, does she actually care about having freeze, or is
yes,
it just
yes. It's actually part of her plan.
Just said that.
And now she has a fur coat. Yeah, okay. This is one thing I've always found interesting. Poison Ivy is all about, sustaining plants. So does that mean that she would only eat meat then? Because obviously she doesn't care about animals.
No. She eats from the sun, fertilizer.
Well, okay. Okay, she's still somewhat human dead, so she has to eat still. That is one.
She synthesizes and drinks water.
Some shows or iterations have gone on to say that she eats only meat because, she can't stand the
a single
thought
sexy tear.
which turns to ice and animated
And that
snow.
becomes dust in the
This
wind.
is corny.
This whole movie is corny.
And not in a good way.
Oh, here we go for another one.
About Secret of the Use. Yeah, Secret of the Use is the good kind of corny. This is the horrible kind of corny.
All right, tell you.
Oh, wait, hold on. Now it's time for the big plan to come.
Yeah, complete with another piece of weird dubbing over.
They're doing the society again.
Why are they dubbing over the regular dialogue?
I get the idea that Arnold could not manage to deliver the line properly with his makeup.
Yeah, this is definitely how a Saturday morning cartoon does go with characters.
Oh my god, seriously.
Which is amazing considering that there was not just Batman.
What about Bane?
What about Bane?
Sorry, I got which is interesting because not only did we have Batman cartoon, but the Superman cartoon was going on at the same time this was on.
Wow, congratulations, Poison Ivy. You thought of what every video game villain thinks of. Killer plants.
Yeah.
This is also...
Yeah. He's gonna be in Smash Brothers one day, don't worry.
Is there a Batnik that's an actual carnivorous plant?
Adam and Evil, huh?
Oh, really?
Basically...
This is another scene where it felt like she was about to burst out into song.
So here's the idea. Freeze will kill off everyone, then in the aftermath, Poison Ivy will repopulate it with plants of her own making, and then those two will then repopulate the Earth with their own.
And Eve.
Well, I don't think she really thought this plan through, because let's say the cycle continues about humans ruining the world.
Not really. It's like in Sonic Rivals.
Oh!
Eggman tries to...
But guys, it turns out Alfred has McGregor syndrome. Where have we heard that before?
Wow, nearly 90 minutes in, and
I wonder
it
how
took
much
us
of it
this
is
long to mention Sonic.
All the stars must have aligned.
Not only that, but it's stage one.
I wonder how much of a coincidence it is. Sorry, how much of a coincidence it is that one of the names of the producer of this movie is, Peter McGregor Scott.
Maybe that was the idea.
Also, Deji, we don't actually mention Sonic all that often, funnily enough.
Yeah.
What I was trying to say is that it's the same thing as Eggman wanting to turn the world into a card, and by doing that, I guess he would just, die with it as well.
Hold on, wait, hold on. It wasn't Eggman who wanted to turn the world into a card. That was his demonic and demented descendant.
It was Eggman Nega or something.
Fine, Eggman Nega.
Yeah. Eggman Nega is literally insane, so I see why he'd do that plan.
But he's supposedly not a double, but a relative, but I'm not getting into that at the moment.
The whining is seriously not helping.
Robin, you've been whining like this the whole bloody movie.
They've both been whining the whole bloody movie.
Yeah, but especially Robin.
It says a lot where the good actors, the interpreters, the good characters, are mostly incapacitated for most of the movie, or they look like they don't want to be there. And the movie is in the bunch of complete doofuses that bicker and whine to each other.
Okay, I love this line. He wants her to give that disc to Wilfred. And he's basically going to tell her not to look at it. Let's just say, if she had actually followed through and given it to Wilfred, holy cow!
We would have got Azazel,
Give it to
maybe.
I'm Alfred. I have a brother, Wilfred.
Yes, never open it, he said. Again, wait till you see the message.
It's like the sequence in Little Nemo where Nemo is like, they told me to not open it. Immediately the other guy's like, let's open it. Yes.
Isn't it Finding Nemo?
No, it's another different movie, Dej.
You're thinking of a completely different movie.
So I was like, wait, what?
Little Nemo is
Little Nemo. Oh,
okay,
what?
because I feel like, wait, is that what they called it in Europe?
I believe that.
No.
I believe that was the film that Hayao Miyazaki put down as the worst film experience of his life.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Not just
wow,
that,
what an honor.
Not just that, Joe, but even Isao Takahata, the other anime god.
Damn. Nobody could make that film work.
Left the project because, according to him, the original, the main character didn't go through any sort of arc, and that didn't really appeal to him, and so he decided to leave the project. But yeah, allow me. You know, a movie, it's a bit difficult to now suddenly care about the fact that Alfred is dying when the rest of this entire movie is nothing but complete buffoonery.
Like, you know, at least with Batman Forever, it felt like they were trying to balance Bruce's character with the antics going on here and there, whereas with this one, yeah, the comedy has pretty much been the dominant force, where the somewhat more serious things like Freeze's wife or Alfred dying feel more like an afterthought.
Okay, you just sprayed him with the pheromones. You don't need to do that again.
Just to be sure.
That's my problem with Poison Ivy in this movie. She just does the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Like she's. I get the idea
that because of a lack of potential special effects, we could not implement some stuff like, say, like a whip attack or something, or a grab thing. You know, attack themed with plants that she normally does, even in the comics.
Which she will do later.
Again, yeah, I guess for the most part, we just wanted her to spray shit on everyone.
The music all of a sudden tried to go James Bond there.
Actually, that's a good segue, Dweebs. We haven't spoke about it. Who was the composer for this?
Elliot Goldenthal, returning from the previous movie. And like the previous movie, the score's one of the better parts of the film.
I can see that.
I just realized Freeze's henchman dressed like that one Power Rangers villain that looks like the Skull.
Also, Dweebs, we haven't talked about it. How much was the budget and how much the revenue?
Well, the film cost $160 million to make, and it took 238 points.
So technically a bomb.
Well, that's the thing, though. Back then, this was back when, that sort of stuff was considered a financial success. Warner Brothers reported it as a financial success. The surprising thing is that, in Warner Brothers fashion, even though the movie was a financial success, they paid mind to the criticism enough to figure that, yeah, we're not going to try and continue this, which is kind of a shame.
Considering that 1997 was a complete shit show for, superhero movies, yeah, I get the idea that they took the hint.
Oh boy, this bit. But yeah.
That's the password.
The password is
Password.
I thought it was swordfish.
Oh, this.
I prefer the Okay.
Poor Michael Goff.
You were saying, Pedro?
Hold on, Dej.
Yeah, hold on.
Do you know the password?
Sir, I'm dying here. This is now really the best time to ask.
But I'm George Clooney.
I mean, yeah,
Just
you won't be able to tell me after you're dead now, will you?
I mean, have you seen my face? I literally make publicities for coffee in Italy. Come on.
There's no defeat in death, except when, Joe Chill. I mean, sorry, you know who killed your parents. There was a bit of defeat there, yeah.
All right,
it was a bunch of children.
Stupid question. At what point did the comic strips ever make it Joe Chill was Mr. Freeze all along, or make him an ice fiend villain?
No. They never did that with Joe Chill. No, Joe Chill's just
Joe Chill always remained just a simple goon, because that was the message that we needed to get. The idea that even the simplest of street crimes could have so much repercussion.
And then Tim Burton decided to make it the Joker.
Yeah, that's the thing that I said in the commentary that I don't like, the idea that suddenly needs to be super important.
Honestly,
like everything's connected.
Like I said before, I actually did like the idea, and oh god, that looked like he was French kissing him.
That was A lot of affection, Bruce.
I get it.
He was his father figure. It's fine. It got quiet all of a sudden.
Also, she's still trying to guess the password.
England?
The password is England.
Why would it be England?
Because Alfred's from England.
XX_Sephiroth89 XX_.
Let's try the password from Detroit.
Wait.
Fucking password.
Wait. Oh, sorry. No, it's not Margaret. We actually didn't go for that cliche.
Hey, try this one. Martha. Come on.
Why did you say that name?
Why would you write a password that's just 3 characters? That's incredibly.
To be fair, Alfred is an old person, so I can imagine him to be the guy that uses technology in this kind of way.
He's the one who uses password 1.
So, reminder, Alfred told her to give it to Wilfred, and he told her not to open it. Now, granted, maybe he was relying on her disobeying him, but why not just tell her... So the test was for her to disobey him? Like,
Gotta love how her reaction to the fact that Bruce and Dick are superheroes to be...
It gets better, Pedro. Am I better?
Also, why is Bane...
I saw this movie while you were still in...
Actually, that's a question, Pedro. Did you actually see this? Did you actually saw this in theaters?
Yeah. Because 1997. He was 2 years old or 3.
Yes, I was 2 at the time.
Thank you, Deji. That was my joke. Yes. No, Taylor, I didn't see it in theaters because, well, Batman Forever pissed me off, so I didn't feel the need to go watch it in theaters.
Wow, if Batman Forever pissed you off, I wonder what this film would have done.
Well, Jova, the trailers made it clear that this movie was clearly not for me. So why bother, right?
I get what you mean, don't worry.
Forever, that's for sure.
Well, that's the thing, Deji. At the time, at the very least, the idea was, at the very least, give Joel Schumacher the benefit of the doubt. At the very least, for Batman Forever, But anyway,
wait. Let me put it like this: Batman and Robin is a movie that we're all having fun ripping it apart.
Yes,
because it's so hilariously bad. Batman Forever, it's just boring.
Honestly, I don't find this movie to be all that hilarious. I
have to say that at least collectively, from what I've seen from the others, me and the others kind of really enjoyed the Jim Carrey's take on the Riddler for.
Yeah,
of course. Okay. And why can't you just die? That's funny.
Okay. Look, don't get me wrong. I get it. Batman Forever is not the most remarkable film, but I honestly feel like I can have more of a good time with that film than I can with this movie because
the face.
Okay, look,
I'm gonna have to agree with Jova. I prefer Jim Carrey's Riddler over Arnie's Freeze, to be honest with you.
And hell, I'll say it. I prefer Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face, despite the very, 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 very bad connotations with that, over Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy.
Also, Bane's job was to just play some cones or something.
And yell bomb.
This'll come in handy for later. Anyway, Pedro, you're about to say?
Yeah, I didn't watch this in theaters too, but I did watch it when it played on TV. Because at the time, movies playing on TV were far more common.
Far more common? Oh, I thought you were going to say more rare, because movies playing on TV are incredibly common now.
Let me rephrase that, Jova. I mean in channels that don't specialize in just airing movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure, let's go for an hour one.
Because a lot of the times, Jova, here in my country, channels that specialize in just movies, usually you have to have cable for that.
Also, too, you kind of just brought up my point, though. It's like, well, again, when you get down to it, there's not that many scenes with him spouting the ice puns because it's been a while since you last said the drink.
No, there are, Jova. I kept count. I'm around the 16 one.
Well, okay. My point isn't... Okay, my point is that there aren't that many scenes where he does it. The problem is that he does it so much in the few scenes that he does spout them. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, God, this scene. Ugh.
Yeah.
I guess Alfred decided to record footage for the Batcave. You expected her to come down here even though you told her not to give it. I mean, not to
Alfred
open it.
installed an artificial intelligence with his own image. To say this.
He can create
Wait.
AI, but can't create a cure for his disease.
Oh, by the way, he made something in her size. So, okay, so what if she had given this to Wilfred? Would Wilfred have been expected to have worn the Batgirl?
Again,
no?
Jova.
I have to mention this. She has a badass, but she does not have bat nipples. So, take that for what you will.
Also, Jova, like I said, Azazel, probably will become that.
I guess this is the Tumblr note of female presenting nipples or whatever they were trying to.
Don't worry, Shuri. You will see later what she looks like, but if you don't like that costume, don't worry. She will change that in about 5 minutes.
I don't really like any of the costumes in this movie.
Okay.
No,
Speaking of costumes,
wait, this has the reverse X-Men movie where
Poison.
Yeah,
so hard not to be as comic book as possible. This one is trying too hard to be overly comic book that it comes off as a toy commercial.
Well, okay.
Poison Ivy easily looks the worst.
Well, that's the thing, though, Deds.
Speaking of...
Well, that's the thing, though, Deds. We can't even say that this is trying to be comic book because
all the pedals.
You'll see. She's setting the mood. But, Deds, it's funny you mentioned this trying to be too comic...
It's like we're in an anime now.
It's funny you mention it trying to be too comic book, Deds, because if anything, it's the opposite of what the comic books were like at the time. The comic books were more serious and...
It was the Dark Age. My God.
Okay, now I will say this. This costume, I feel, is the first one that actually works for Poison Ivy. It actually does look somewhat seductive here and there, and, it actually works with the theme. And get it? It shows how she starts off green, but then becomes red later.
So I have a confession. This is a scene I watch a lot because of how hilarious it is.
Again, it's Uma Thurman trying to be sexy, and don't get me wrong, this outfit does work.
No, it's not that. It's what happens when she kisses him that I find hilarious.
Oh gosh, okay.
To quickly address the AI thing, so that's where the movie officially has jumped the shark. Like, seriously?
No, that's the least ridiculous thing.
Robin?
That transit state.
Too easy.
Any minute now.
Man, it's a good thing that she didn't kiss him anywhere else on the face, nor she tries immediately to kiss him again.
How does that work?
Yeah, she could have very easily just grabbed him, but...
Hell, I mean...
Yeah, why did she just kiss him again?
Also, He's right there.
She has spiky bracelets. The lady, I used to have
Oh my
those
god,
when I
she
was
finally
14.
has the plant powers. Wait, you did?
It's supposed to be thorns. It's like a rose.
I passed through a metal phase, Jova. Heavy metal.
Okay, for a moment I thought it was for a Bowser cosplay.
What? On that note, Jova, even... What's with the slow-mo? Also, Jova, you can reference Chong-Li.
Oh, God, you're about to become compost. Jesus Christ.
This fight is so bad.
Oh, this line. And yet, 2-bit directors still use it.
I will not accept any female character telling lesson about feminism in this movie. Sorry.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Also, they literally reversed the show.
Yeah, did the footage just literally fast forward and rewind?
Yeah. I get the idea that the editor just gave up at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Convenient line so that she accidentally reveals that she offlined Miss Freeze.
Whoa.
I guess getting doused with toxins gave her some fighting abilities.
Go on, Pedro.
So stupid.
So here, I have a question. Okay, we both know that Bruce, of course, has been.
Oh wait, hold on, guys. She's about to say the line.
Oh no.
Here we go.
And I guess that defeated her?
It's her own plants.
Why didn't you say I hate that bat while you're at it?
Also, she's shown that she can control the plants, so why doesn't she just, unfurl it? Like, man, talk about a lame Batman defeat. We went from the Joker with his climactic fight in the clock tower, the Penguin with a literal duel to the death, Selina Kyle supposedly dying, Two-Face having his climactic duel, and the Riddler having his brain practically implode on himself.
This is also
we'll kill her later,
to continue what Pedro's bafflement from a second ago. This is why I keep saying that any movie, any product that lampshades about how cool and progressive they are, rather than just presenting it naturally, and will end up being dated in just a couple of years.
Hey, look, guys! This movie was doing it before more woke movies decided to make it a practical genre.
Yeah. And now it's time to freeze the entirety of Gotham.
Oh yeah, I have a question. So we know that Bruce trained his entire life to become Batman, and we also know that Dick has his training from the circus, which is why he's very athletic and agile. How exactly does Barbara now suddenly know how to fight and everything? Because as far as I can
it was mentioned,
she took judo classes.
Yeah, because London's a very rough city to live in.
And also, she was on a motorcycle, so we showed how tough she is.
Oh no!
He was frozen midstream.
It's not.
That's the worst.
It's not really the same thing as training your entire life, like judo lessons here and there.
Well, don't you see, Pedro? She's a girl, and they just do things better than us guys.
Also, the practical
Gordon becoming Batgirl.
Wait,
she was just basically.
Some of the actual practical effects of the eyes on things are just awful looking. They're clearly just pieces of plastic.
As for the whole progressive thing that Jay was talking about, well, honey, let me tell you, the men in this movie also give men a bad name. Everybody gives everybody a bad name here anyway. So
apparently,
it doesn't really.
So apparently,
look, Batman and Robin are just simps. Okay.
Sorry, I should mention.
Yeah.
So apparently, they had, even though they're on a time limit with Mr. Freeze freezing the city, they had enough time to change their outfits.
Not only that,
everyone changed costume, even though Batgirl just got her one.
Maybe they were already wearing it for some reason.
Not only that,
it's that simple. All he has to do is go into the pause menu and switch the suit.
Not only that,
it's that simple.
Not only that, but they had time to change vehicles for this. Also, there goes.
Again, this clearly showcased that Warner Bros. Wanted to sell a gajillion toys with this one. We didn't even bother to hide it.
Well, okay,
This was the 90s,
apparently the toy companies had a huge involvement in the production.
That explains a lot, but okay, was the video game good?
Was there an actual video game based on this?
Oh yes, there was. PlayStation.
What I've heard,
on the PlayStation
basically, from what I've heard, no.
Why doesn't Batman's vehicle fly?
Wow,
yeah.
Really? So this movie was so bad it didn't even warrant a video game tie-in?
No, Pedro. This movie did get a video game tie-in.
On the PS1.
Yeah, we literally just said on the PlayStation.
Okay, dude, this was saying something about whatever.
No, he was saying that it wasn't good from his understanding.
Oh, okay. Well, not surprised there. I mean, Batman Forever game was not good either, so...
It's quiet.
Well, interesting you mentioned it, Pedro.
Why did you have to remove your cowl?
Yes!
So when does anything ice-related hibernate?
Well...
haven't you seen Ice Age?
True.
The first one.
Good, that's all you need to watch.
And
pretty much.
The fourth one, I think.
Maybe the second one.
Okay. The first and second one are good. I have not seen anything past that, but I've heard only bad stuff.
I can tell you this. The first one is probably the best of a bunch, and even that is at least starting to age. Hold on.
The fifth one literally has some
good. Time for some quick techno bubble.
Oh, the Congo. Maybe we could tie that into that terrible Congo film.
Basically, through multimodal refraction sorting, they will manage to defrost the city. Those sound effects.
Is this Power Rangers now?
They brought in the laser guns from Power Rangers as well.
Well, I mean, they have the most blatant toy advertisement since Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, so might as well.
Deji, interesting you mention that. This one came out the same year as Power Rangers Turbo.
What?
What's that?
Yeah, 1997.
God. Was
1997 was a terrible year for movies.
Yeah, it was a cursed year.
I think we got some good movies out of 97, but man.
I did love it. Well, actually, no, yeah, you're right. I did love Disney's Hercules. There's that. So.
Well, the highest grossing film that year.
Oh, wait. Good Will Hunting came out in 97, apparently.
Oh, that was a thing.
And Titanic. No, wait, that's not good. Never mind.
Oh, there was also Gattaca. I actually like that one. So
came out in 97 as well.
Ha! See? Subversion!
And Good Burger as well.
Okay, I do like Good Burger, actually.
And Home Alone 3. I like it. Shut up. No, I don't take criticism.
Oh. Oh. Ah, it's one of those days. Mondays, am I right?
Okay, one thing I should mention, there have been quite a few wire jump of dooms in this film.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm willing to put up with them more in this kind of movie than I am in a mid-2000s or 2010s movie.
So now Bane is just blindingly obeying Freeze, I guess?
Well, yeah, pretty much, Poison Ivy instructed
like
him
I said,
to.
you can remove Bane from the story and literally nothing will change.
But Tio, then Robin and Batgirl won't get their own finale fight.
Gah.
Come on, Street Fighter him!
Sonic Boom!
Were there any Street Fighter games that came out in 97?
Probably.
Either Alpha 3, one of the Alpha games, or, First Strike.
Okay, so...
New Generation. Yeah, Street Fighter 3, a New Generation came out in 97.
Okay. And they recently reverted back. That's not how the Venom, decay works, whatever. Okay.
So...
I mean, sorta, kinda, not entirely. It's always been iffy.
It's very, again, it varies on the writer, but not in this instantaneous process. Anyway, Zeus and Roxanne was done in 1997. Ugh.
Okay.
Who are he playing against? Lakers?
Dante speak. I'm sure you know the one. What the fuck do you think, Bruce?
Just checking.
Oh, 1987, they also made Leprechaun 4 in space. Oof.
Ugh. I know Marcos hates that movie, and every time he tells me about these Leprechaun movies, you're making this
I get that we have our audience, but they're just not for me.
He told me that they made one called Back in the Hood. I'm like, what?
Again, it's like it's been said before. We're trying to make a leprechaun scary. That doesn't work.
I mean, apparently it worked enough for it to spawn a franchise.
Irish?
True.
Since we actually commented on it, I will mention this for a positive. Liar Liar was also in 1997, so there's that.
Oh yeah, I love Liar Liar.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, but yeah, it was definitely still a mixed year overall. Alright.
I actually like Titanic. That also had its caveat here, but yeah, 1997 was very, very
honestly,
nice.
aside from the unfortunate implication drove, I found Titanic to be very boring.
I like it for its effects showcase, and I do like the actual showing of the sinking of a ship, because that stuff was...
Bye, Bane! We'll just leave you here to die.
Yeah, seriously, did they just seriously leave Bane to die? Like, the guy was...
And nothing of value was...
Okay, these... Freeze in... what?
That doesn't even make any sense.
Get it?
Even if you take the idea
No, he
that
should have said it'll be a cold day in hell, Batman.
not just that, Divine Comedy, the Cocytus is the deeper part of Valley. It's an actual frozen lake, but it's stretching at this point. Shit. Grab them.
Our heroes.
Yep. Grab onto my belt. That sounds like something you'd say in a Batman porno.
Grab onto my
Okay. Honest question, guys. Which do you think would have better production values? This movie or a Batman porno?
Well, it depends.
So, wait. If Spider Babe is anything to go by, maybe.
How do you know that?
Wait, you've heard of that one
Yes,
too?
there is a parody of.
I tried to avoid them, Jova. When it comes to non-safe for war material, I try to search original content.
Yes, there is a Nazi. There's a porn parody of Batman.
Oh, that's a porn parody of everything.
I mean a porn parody of Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and I saw it on TV once when I was a little kid.
There's already a porn parody of Cyberpunk 2077. Like they're that quick at making these.
All right, time to see if the technobabble works.
Men, oh my god, this movie really did do it early.
Again, like I think Pedro said, it's like everyone in this movie comes off terribly.
Yeah. Honey, Poison Ivy makes women look bad. I agree with you. But you know what? Batman and Robin are also making us look bad. So everybody's looking bad anyway. So I don't see why you have to rag on us so much.
This is a movie for equality. Everybody sucks.
Like,
great.
I mean, okay, Sirai, no offense, but whenever I see a woman constantly say that, "Ooh, men are pigs" and all that, I think, trying to say that every man doesn't really help your case, lady. It just makes you come off as a judgmental douche.
But don't worry, guys. Everyone was unfrozen for the 11-minute.
But will the dog survive?
And will the ice continue to be rubbery for some reason?
Or plastic? Also, what happened to Jim Gordon?
He's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, seriously. The very last thing we hear from Pat Hingle's Commissioner Gordon is him saying, "Please come back."
No, the dog survived. Yay!
Yeah.
It must have been a weird experience waking up while in the middle of peeing while being frozen.
Not even just that, Jova. I can understand when Poison Ivy says it because Poison Ivy is a bad guy anyway. But what reason does Barbara even have to be that snappy at Bruce?
Here's also a first. Okay, not technically a first because the Riddler did survive, but
wait, hold on. I have to ask, how did he record this? No, seriously.
He had cameras everywhere.
He must
he
have.
used satellite technology
to take a pretty good-looking picture, all things considered. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Or maybe Batgirl had the.
Okay, aside from Bane, this is the movie where the villains also survive. All the villains survive for no real reason. Okay, I get it that the last shot implies that Mr. Freeze kills Poison Ivy, but still.
Oh, no. It's not so much killing her, it's to make her life a freezing hell.
Okay, so here's what I don't get. Bane was a villain. No, not Bane. Mr. Freeze was a villain because he wanted to save his wife, and it was the only way he could do it. But Batman eventually forgives him and asks for him to help find a cure. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Poison Ivy, she was just dragged into villainy, not of her free will. So her being punished kind of feels off.
I think the problem is that she is flipping cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and she's had so many chances to not try to kill everyone.
But she, again, it was the toxins and the neurons that made her like this.
Yeah, I think that is a point in a sense where the movie is having a sort of false equivalence where Freeze is portrayed as the only sympathetic figure, while Ivy, where, Ivy really got into the mess because she wanted to do what she thought was right, actually get punished instead.
It is definitely a very lopsided way of looking at things.
And look at that. Freeze is a convenient, prototype cure for the McGregor disease. Doctor's prescription.
But yeah, it turns out that, they were able to, save Nora Freeze. She's still there waiting at Arkham Asylum, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, he'll be able to continue his research.
Well, in Arkham Asylum, but still.
Hey, look, the man just wants to cure his wife, so yeah, he's got that.
Again,
are we done?
This is no, sadly
No,
not sure. This
we're
is also what I mean. The idea of these kind of moments where Frieza, wants to be more serious and try to his tragic backstory about his wife, actually would work much better if the entire movie was like that.
Also, apparently Barbara and, Bruce had time to change out of their costumes, but Dick didn't for some reason.
Oh boy. Yeah, speaking of what Deji was also saying before.
She looks completely unhinged in the scene. Like, with a... Nah.
Yummy.
Aw, how nice. They let him keep the suit.
You know what time it is?
So I guess he'll have a side hobby for while he's finding a cure for his wife. Wow, I can't wait for Game of Thrones to make a catchphrase out of those.
Why not?
Deji, so that's how AEW came up with the name of that recent show they did.
Yep.
Wait, what?
A couple of weeks ago, their tagline was "Winter is coming."
And that has nothing to do with Game of Thrones?
Who knows? Winter is coming is a common thing.
Not only that, but you have to remember that Game of Thrones is based on a series of books that started being written in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
yes.
I know.
Like I said, I actually, well, in an accidental way,
Yay!
I actually managed to read the books before the series started.
Guys, Alfred's okay.
I haven't seen anything
He's going
from
to
the books.
live.
Alfred will leave.
George R. R. Martin's not gonna finish it. He's too busy working on Elden Ring.
Yay!
You see, kids, you see, kids, all you need to do to cure your loved ones is to convince a supervillain to turn good so he can give you a mystical cure that only he has the access to.
All right, let me go. I'm gonna go find Dr. Doom. Okay, so see you guys in a bit.
Wait, hold on, Des. I have to warn you something. According to One More Day, Dr. Doom cannot heal a bullet wound.
Okay, this is there's one thing I do appreciate about
he's magic.
Okay, guys, if there's one thing I do appreciate about this film is that Michael Goff still gives a pretty good performance as Alfred.
Well, even Patingo technically as Commissioner Gordon. Like I said, the returning older actors actually do work properly. Like way better. And yeah, by the way, Shir, we're about to get the very last shot of the movie, which is very meh. These entire quadrilogy of movies ends kind of on a fart.
I'm sorry. So they say
a lot of this movie is a fart.
They say.
Fuck yeah.
Also, they said partners. Shouldn't it have been family? I know it's cliched, but...
And there we go. We end on Batman, Batgirl, and Robin menacingly running towards the camera. Please don't rape me.
They're running at you with their nipples to you.
Oh, no.
Also, Jova,
yeah?
That's the thing. Not just that what you said about the whole curing the death thing. How about the fact that Barbara literally just quit school to become a superhero?
This is the kind of story arc.
And so you see, Joe, but the lesson here is, kids, if you manage to get superpowers, quit school and never try and just.
This is the kind of story arc that a decade later, a writer like Neil Gaiman will try to deconstruct and tell it was a bad idea. But
okay,
all right,
post-credit scene or no?
No, I don't. No, final thoughts. Dweebs.
Close the movie.
So that was
Yes.
that was Batman and Robin. But it's really easy to tell why this movie is regarded so poorly amongst many circles, whether you be just an average moviegoer or an avid comic book fan. Like, for the average moviegoer, all they get are a bunch of lame jokes, iffy looking effects, half-hearted acting from everybody except Michael Goff and Pat Hinkle to an extent, and okay, maybe even not.
So what's the song?
Whiny characters that are either boring, whiny, or over the top. A script that is it's so I swear half the effort Akiva Goldsman put into the script was the ice puns, and that was it. Yeah, effort well made. I mean, the music's good. I mean, it's if there's one thing I have enjoyed from the Schumacher film, theme for the series. So it's nice to see that still carries on here.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, though, that's merely window dressing to try and dress up a rather poorly built house, such as Batman and Robin, a movie that has one target and one target alone: to sell toys. And apparently, I don't know how well that managed to do. It clearly mustn't have done too well, considering this is the last of this particular series of movies.
Yeah.
For 8 years.
Yeah, it will take almost a decade before Batman Begins.
You know, it's funny because Batman Begins felt like it took some things from Batman Triumphant, and like I said, I actually do wish Batman Triumphant could have been a thing, because the script alone shows that Joel Schumacher did want to make up for it. The problem was that, well, okay, I don't know if it's a problem, but Warner Brothers, despite making the money that they did want with this movie, decided that the critical reception was definitely a sign that they needed to put things on ice. No pun intended.
Again, Jova, it was because also they saw what was going on with superhero movies around the same year. Again, Spawn and Steel were also bad examples, and the year after only Blade seemed to be a bit better, but not enough to convince them. I get the idea that they thought the trend was dying.
Yeah. Overall, Batman and Robin. It's honestly half the time it's surprisingly dull, even with the bloody ice puns from Arnie. And again, it says something in regards to quality of the film when pre-Governor Arnie isn't the worst actor in the movie. That honor goes to Uma Thurman.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than this. And yet here she is, dressing up like a bad cosplay of a tree. And everyone else's costumes went, especially ones they had to get into, even though there was a time limit on Freeze Gotham. They had just enough time to change into their outfits, especially Barbara, who they just got into her freshly made 5 minutes before. Anything else I could address before I set off?
How about, the complete disregard of tonal shift, again, at least Batman Forever had some weird sense of balance. Batman and Robin pretty much tosses it out the goddamn window.
Yeah, this is basically what would happen if you took the Adam West show and removed all charm from it. You just get lame jokes and poorly done action. Seriously, half the action... The action here was so weird. All the high jumps of doom. It made me think, can Batman fly now?
Like I said, the physics and gravity have been completely removed. So
wait, I can explain that. He's rich.
I mean...
He can do anything. He's above everybody because
Deji money can't buy you a way around.
Is that a Justice League?
You'd be surprised.
Oh, so it's like in the Justice League movie. So what's your superpower? I'm rich.
That's a cool line. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, I like the line. I actually think that's one of the better lines.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard plenty of poor products.
No, that line's fine. No, that's fine.
But yeah,
on its own, it's fine.
But yeah, overall, Batman and Robin it's just all. No wonder the series was axed after this. Okay, see you guys.
All right, Deji, go ahead.
Well, let's see here. We had 3 types of villains, so they were planting the seeds of disaster already. It wasn't really cool, and it's pretty much the bane of the Batman movie's career until Zack Snyder came. Yes, I tried to make 3 puns. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Also, yeah, but well, you could sneak in the fact that Coolio was in the movie. Why not?
But this movie isn't good. Like Dweb said, it's pretty much the Adam West show, but Hollywoodified, which made it feel like a bastardization of what we had.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still have fun watching it. Like hell, even when we were talking over, I wasn't tearing my hair out. I had fun watching this with you guys, which I think is probably the most fun I've had watching a movie with you guys ever. So that's saying something.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Batman and Robin, while technically a bad film, can be considered one of those so bad it's enjoyable to tear apart sort of films. Mind you, it just has the baggage of being, one of those movies, an actual genre killer.
Like, yeah, it is sad that this did kill off the Batman movies until it got rebooted to Batman Begins.
I think one potential angle is also the fact that this was considered the worst Batman movie for a long time, but eventually we got worse. It basically stands equal to what Final Fantasy VIII is compared to stuff like Final Fantasy XIII. At the time, it was considered the lowest point, but nowadays we got worse stuff. It doesn't change the fact that it's still a bad product.
Oh no,
but
it does not.
In comparison, in hindsight, it doesn't even look completely garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
But I don't know why I can say that hasn't already been said. The costumes were bad. Everything about it was bad. The choreography sucked. This plot's a mess. While I do think Irma Thurman is hot, I don't think she wasn't given a good script. And I have to disagree with you guys on George Clooney. He has the look of Batman, Bruce Wayne. He just needed, again, a better setting. And he could have pulled it off great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the look is not the problem. It is strictly how his acting persona makes him not really stand out as a Batman.
Also, it's non-existent.
How old is Robin supposed to be? Because, if he's
supposed to be a teenager, but he's actually a full-grown damn adult.
Yeah.
He's a grown-ass man.
Him being whiny just comes off as...
man-child.
Intolerable.
Yeah.
Or if he was in his really early 20s, I could have bought it. It's like, okay, you know what? You're still trying to get accustomed to the real world, trying to be your own person, which is completely understandable. And Bruce isn't really giving you the credit. But I don't know. I feel like things could have been handled better with just a few minor tweaks in the script.
It really does say something when you get an outright train wreck that, when you actually analyze it, could have been fixed to at least be, good with just a few tweaks. It's just that every little tweak eventually builds up, and you see the results.
It piles up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I'm gonna probably be considered crazy, but I don't have much to complain about this than I do with The Dark Knight Rises, because that's a train wreck.
I can see where you're coming from. Whereas Batman and Robin, you kind of could see the storm coming with Batman Forever. Dark Knight Rises is like nobody. Okay, the last movie was the flipping Dark Knight. No one was expecting to hit a brick wall like we did with Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Like, going from Dark Knight to Dark Knight Rises is if you went from Batman 1989 straight on to Batman and Robin. I mean, that's not to say Dark Knight Rises is as bad a film, but still.
It's just more frustrating. Because there's a simple why. Why? No, wait, why is this happening? Why is this a thing? Whatever. Next, I'm done.
All right, I'll go next. But before that, some minor trivia because we didn't mention stuff. Unexpectedly, most of the cost and production value resented the process of making the movie. Definitely, while they actually got along, it felt there was a sort of discomfort for everyone. George Clooney has officially disowned most of the movie on his own, and even at cons he gives some jabs at it. Chris O'Donnell said that at least with Batman Forever he felt like he was making an actual movie, while this one felt more like a commercial. Joe Schumacher, as we know from interviews, he said that he also apologized in the official DVD commentary of the movie. Same goes for one of the producer, but surprisingly enough, both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman actually instead said they enjoyed working on this.
You know what? I can get why.
If I had to guess, it's probably because they were actually given some creative freedom and were able to ham up whatever they wanted. So there's that. And I understand the thought process, but there's still the fact that, you kind of ruin the product in the process, potentially. It's not a situation like with Jeremy Irons in D&D, For one particular quote is from Schwarzenegger. He said that he added that it's always easy to be smug in hindsight when the movie turned out to be worse than expected. So there's that. And one last thing, the thing that Jova mentioned about Batman, the Batman movie with Nicolas Cage as the Scarecrow, that was supposed to be the original draft for this movie and was going to be called Batman Unchained. Nicolas Cage, Jeff Goldblum, Steve Buscemi were potentially cast as the Scarecrow, but then Coolio was supposed to play it. That ends why he's still a cameo here.
Coolio was supposed to be the Scarecrow?
Also, apparently, Courtney Love and Martin Short were cast as Harley Quinn and Man-Bat, so yeah, we potentially could have got something even worse.
I mean, okay. I did like the idea that they did that for Harley Quinn, sort of being Jack Napier's illegitimate daughter for Batman triumphant and her winning vengeance on him.
Okay, well, to be honest, Joe, I'm not exactly the #1 fan of Courtney Love, so I wouldn't have seen her in the role much.
Hey. Did you know there's a draft where Madonna was supposed to play the role of Harley Quinn?
I'm not making jokes on that. But anyway, let me actually get to my proper final thoughts. I mean, it's a classical disaster. It's a franchise killer for a good reason. And yeah, it's just awful. The music is not really noticeable for me. The costume department is completely fucked up. It feels like a commercial. The characters bicker and whining constantly. The only ones who actually matter, the returning one, Pat Ingle and Michael Goff, are mostly absent. Pat Ingle just, Commissioner Gordon just disappears from the movie at the 2/3 mark. That's sad. And the movie doesn't even have a proper real conclusion. It's not even a case of, it just stops, like the joke that me and Pedro all to make. But it's more of a case where it just ends without a proper epilogue. It's like one of those old Law and Order episodes that just ends immediately without having to actually have an epilogue. But yeah, this is just not really good. I still prefer, like I said, Batman Returns in a still guilty pleasure way, but overall, you can tell that this trilogy of movies, or tetralogy if you want, was rough around the edges, and you can see why Warner Bros. Considered everything. They decided to shut it down after this.
It peaked with the first movie.
Yeah, it was kind of lightning in a bottle scenario. We should have just stopped there, but sadly, Batman, kind of much like with Spider-Man, Batman is a brand that sells on name alone, so obviously we wanted to capitalize on that. And to be fair, we're still getting movies to this day about Batman. We're still having to see the Batman upcoming one.
Can we please have a new Batman cartoon, please?
Oh, wow.
We have so many.
Okay, doesn't the Harley Quinn show kind of like count as that?
No.
I mean,
Okay,
But
then.
you know what's kind of sad? The last standalone Batman show was Beware the Batman.
How long was that?
God, was it?
2012 or 13.
Ugh.
Wow.
Anyway,
it used to be. You know what's funny, Dad? The complaint used to be that Batman was the only superhero regularly getting DC animated shows.
Yeah, we had the Green Lantern show. That was good.
Anyway, that's it.
Good.
That's it for me. I'll get back to the final thoughts are done.
Shiroi.
Sure. I mean, this wasn't as bad as I expected. It's still a cheese fest, and its tone is all over the place, really.
Yeah, but it's a cheese fest. It's a cheese fest, but the cheese is rotten.
What you mean, frozen?
Yeah.
Cheese, that sounds disgusting. Yeah. But the costumes pretty much mostly look terrible. I don't really understand what was supposed to be going on here. A lot of it doesn't make sense. It's just ridiculous. I don't hate it, but it's just not very good.
Yeah,
I don't.
I think I get what you mean. Batman and Robin is to that point where it's reached this perverted sense of nirvana where it's kind of almost impossible to be mad at this movie. Like, just...
Oh no, I'm not mad at any of this, really.
I guess it's sort of a thing like, well, if you were there around the time when it kind of killed the superhero genre, I could definitely get being mad at it.
Me.
Yeah.
I was yeah, I mean, I guess you were probably the only one of us who was old enough to really register it, because...
I was, yes. Well, by the time that
Blade, and then you got, and then it went downhill. No, wait, we got the Spider-Man film. We got X-Men.
I was 10 years old when this movie came out already, so...
Yeah!
I was born in 87, Deji, so...
Yeah. Okay, wait, Pedro. What's the worst movie you've seen in theaters that you were so excited for?
Well, you mean like in theaters, like, or just in general?
He means in theaters.
When you were a little kid, when you were young.
In theaters.
Well, while you think about it, Shiroi, continue.
Shiroi, what I think.
Well, I only have one more thing to say anyway. Like, the only thing I really, really dislike is that the characters are just whining constantly.
Like, Robin's whining about Batman, Batman's whining about Alfred, Poison Ivy is whining about Freeze and his wife, and Freeze is whining and making puns.
You told us
you know me, I can't be mad at puns at all.
You told us that you don't remember too much in the previous movie commentary forever, but judging from what you do manage to remember, what's your favorite at this point of this quadrilogy?
The
first one, maybe.
That's the better one, I think.
All right then.
Well, it's the one that I heard you compliment the most. So.
Well, I guess it's that one then, because it's definitely not this.
Oh, I can imagine that. All right, Pedro.
All right. As for me. Okay. Okay, you have to understand, everybody, that that unlike, say, a little kid in '97 who, like, I was already reading comics by that point, because my friends were as well. And at the time, like I said, at the time, one of the more resonant stories among '90s kids who read Batman comics was the Nightfall storyline.
Basically, Nightfall, Shiroi, if you need to know. Nightfall is pretty much the Batman equivalent to the death of Superman. It was a traumatic event that caused people to believe that Bruce Wayne would no longer be Batman, and there needed to be a replacement.
Sure.
It's the... So having a movie turn Bane into this is so utterly disgusting. For as bad as Dark Knight Rises is, I will at the very least give it credit that Bane at the very least got better treated in that movie than in this one. I know it's not saying much, but goddamn, at the very least he was an actual threat in Rises.
Bane gave us Bane posting.
True.
Yes. True. And it is glorious. But
this is not Bane. The basic point is this is not Bane.
Yeah.
It's not.
Generic henchman.
This is pretty much what somebody who doesn't know what Bane is but thinks Bane is like, thinks of Bane.
Exactly. It's a okay. Here's the thing, like we've talked about, like you can even throw the whole Batman '60s show throwback thing, because no, this movie does not if that was really the intent, then I can tell you that this movie has no understanding of what made the original '60s show fun. The original '60s show fun, the original '60s show was fun because its comedy relied purely on just complete over-the-top cartoonish. And with including with the sound effects and all that stuff, and not to mention it had actors with great comedic timing who could perfectly sell it. Whereas in this movie, just like Jova said, the actors are not really the acting in this movie doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't know if it's the direction or the writing, but these actors just cannot have. I mean, George Clooney has nothing on Adam West in terms of comedic timing, like none whatsoever. Like seriously, it just doesn't work on that level. Not to mention, it shouldn't even work on that level because supposedly this is the fourth movie in the series that started in '89.
Yeah.
Like, it. Ugh.
Wait, Pedro. Serious question, and this applies to all of you. Which portrayal of Robin was worse, this or Dark Knight Rises?
I mean, I guess Robin actually exists.
Because I barely counted that as a portrayal, to be honest.
It really is. Okay, Deds, it's a tough call in the sense that I really don't know what to say. Like, I mean, Robin's actually in this, and I don't know if we can really call that guy Robin.
It's not really a fair comparison, because he only becomes Robin at the very end of at the very last minute of the movie anyway, so I don't think it's really that fair of a comparison.
I know, but it's like the plot twist that his name is Robin is like, get out.
Okay. I'll just say like this. They're stupid, but for different reasons. Dark Knight Rises, it's just blatant teasing of something that we were never really going to get.
Never came.
And here, it's just a terrible portrayal, so pick your poison.
Basically, yeah. It's, and it just doesn't work because the jokes are not really okay. The jokes don't work because it's mostly just puns and cliche lines, and maybe a better cast could have maybe something like this, like the original '60s cast. That cast could have easily made this movie more fun. Not these actors. These actors clearly are uncomfortable in this movie. This is clearly not the movie they expected it to be. And that's why the movie doesn't work. It's abundantly clear that George Clooney is embarrassed to be here. He himself admitted it later. So
it's okay. Years later, he got
So yeah, it doesn't. It's just mostly boring, and when it's not being boring, it's just eye rolling because of how bad these one-liners are. And not to mention, like, even the jokes get confused. Like I said, a bad credit card joke works if this was a parody film, but supposedly this is not a parody film. That's it's like if I may look. It's like if I let me put it like this. A movie. Jova, give me a name of a good parody movie that you can think of.
Superhero movie?
Epic movie? Yeah, sure, superhero movie No, Dads, not the epic movie. Superhero movie or the date movie. And yeah,
sure. The superhero movie makes fun of, well, superheroes, as the title basically implies. Therefore, it makes sense to have jokes that make fun of things that have completely absurd things. You know, like that kind of joke works because it's supposed to be a parody. It's taking the concept of a superhero and applying it to the extreme of silliness. Trying to make a bad credit card joke in what's supposed to be a proper Batman movie, not a Batman parody movie, is, to put it simply, stupid. It's a stupid idea. That kind of joke works. You have to keep your humor appropriate. It doesn't make any sense to have a joke like that in this movie. It just doesn't. It's the same reason why it doesn't make any sense to have the Double Dragon arcade be destroyed in the Double Dragon movie. Like like that. You can say that's an Easter egg. Well, a very poor in taste Easter egg, but that's a topic for another day. The music is fine. The effects are terrible. The costumes look like I've seen cosplayers with better outfits than this, and it's just like, ugh, whatever. The movie doesn't work. It just doesn't. No wonder it killed the Batman live action movies for a while, because after this, we really needed a break. So
technically it broke the Batman.
So Bane did accomplish his job in the end.
Oh my god, so you mean in the real winner this time was actually Bane this time?
Yeah. Yes, why not? Let's go with that. Go ahead, Jova, close us out.
I want to open this by basically paraphrasing what It's Just Some Random Guy did when he was pitting bad superhero movies against it. In this video, he pitted Spider-Man 3 against Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin opened up with the argument about all the problems with Spider-Man 3. Do you know what Spider-Man 3 said in response? And your movie was Batman and Robin. And guess what? Spider-Man 3 ended up winning. Because that really is all that needs to be said. It's Batman and Robin. It is a fundamental and executive failure on so many levels. So many levels. Like, honestly, this is one case I really want to know just how much at fault everyone was. Like, okay, like, it used to be simple. Oh, Joel Schumacher was the one at fault, and I'm sure he's at fault on some things, but a lot of it does scream corporative, executive mandates here and there. And Jesus Christ, does it feel more like a toy commercial than an actual movie at times. Don't get me wrong, it is fun to pick apart. And I will admit, in some sort of sick and twisted way, I actually do like this movie in completing the trend of what I consider to be a rather interesting and, flashy take on Batman. I will say this. I legit do like all four of the Burton/Schumacher Batman films. All in different ways, though. 1989, definitely a pure-on fresh delight. That is a bit of product of its time here and there. Batman Returns, okay. It repeats stuff I like about the first one, but over-exemplifies them to the point where it's a little too dark for its own good, but still an overall good time. Batman Forever, kind of fumbling in the dark, trying to find its way, but it seems like it has an idea. But this, oh boy, so many things went wrong with this movie. And okay, it brings me back to when I was a kid, and movies were a bit harder for me to come by here. So, I was actually scouring for this movie a lot back in the day. Mind you, this was again back when I thought as a kid that, this isn't really connected to the first two Batman movies, it's its own separate universe. Turns out I was actually right when I first thought they were connected, so yeah. When I finally did see this, again, as a kid I kind of enjoyed it, but I'll admit, there was always something in the back of my head telling me something feels just weaker. Absolutely weaker. And I can definitely see why nowadays. Aside from the music and some effects, this movie feels like a mitigation of everything good of the series here and there. If there was any good qualities to Robin, those got downplayed and shoved aside. Batgirl is one of those pretentious female characters who goes on about how terrible men are now. She's right and everything.
Keep in mind that Robin saved her life twice in this movie.
Yeah, I know. And she goes, oh, no, I've got you, I have no idea why she acts so pissy and everything. Also, it's cute how she talks down to the literally mentally scarred Poison Ivy. Okay, yeah, she doesn't know Poison Ivy is mentally scarred, but it still comes off as a dick move how she's trying to preach about how, using seduction to get your way is all wrong. I mean, ignoring the fact that historically that has worked and women have used it for good. But whatever, let's just simplify it to all just a thing of something that went out of style. Stay classy, Barbara. And yeah, why did they make Barbara Alfred's niece? I guess to give more added-on drama or something? Because, man, poor Jim Gordon kind of just gets pushed aside in the end. Literally, the last thing we see of him is him lusting hopelessly over Poison Ivy. It's kind of sad, really, when you get down to it. And what do we have to show for it? Well, okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger was an interesting pick for Mr. Freeze. Could have worked. Uma Thurman, she could have worked as well. And you know what? It's nice that they at least enjoy the movie in hindsight and can have some fun with it. I won't hold it against them. Like, whatever train this project was on, that train crashed long ago. It's just, this movie is just something to behold. You look back at it and you have to realize that what you're looking at is something that did kill the superhero film genre, at least live action wise, for quite a bout of time. It would eventually come back, but the scars are still there. I mean, and you know, despite that, it's kind of like with The Wiz, which, again, also included Joel Schumacher. Like, you guys will recall how I mentioned
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's the thing. Joel Schumacher was the writer of the Wiz film, and the Wiz film is what kind of killed the blaxploitation era. I.e., the era where, you know, African-American or black, you know, black stars in general were starting to rise, and the Wiz kind of killed that off, too. Like, damn. I don't know if that was full on Joel Schumacher's fault, but the man may be cursed. Pity. Because he can actually make a good film when, you know, the stars align. I mean, and that's not to say that he only makes bad stuff. He has made some good stuff. Falling Down, from what I've seen, is a pretty great film. But this is not Falling Down. This is a mess. It's a mess that got murdered and shot in the back of the head and left to die further from sunstroke out in the desert, which is ironic because this film is ice-themed and all that. And yet, I can't help but look back at it every now and then. Maybe it's a reminder of what we've risen above, what we as humanity can truly rise above, or maybe it's just a sick fascination with this turkey. Who knows? Who knows?
And who cares? In the meantime, since Luis actually went away to, I guess, you know, fort away the cold, I reprogrammed the slave for our next destination, something that is actually less colder. In a galaxy far, far away, we're going to Kashyyyk. But don't worry, guys, we're actually being time to celebrate Life Day. So tune in next time for the Star Wars Holiday Special. Here's a tip, Shiroi, bring the heavy stuff, because I will.
Oh.
Okay, sure, why not?
See you then.
See ya.
See ya.